is big, and it's closer than you think. It's not a tournament. It's what you don't see on TV. The cash is real. The stakes are high. They bet big. They win big. They lose big. High stakes live action poker. Live at the bike. Watch it live on the web or play it if you dare at the Bicycle Casino right here in Los Angeles.
Hello everyone and welcome to Live at the Bike, brought to you by the Bicycle Casino in Los Angeles, California, the first and only webcast of real action cash game poker. My name is Bart Hansen. I'm here with Dave Tuckman. It's Monday and we're going to do another 50 no limit hold.
Yeah, and it might change a little bit later. They were talking about possibly putting an ante in it, possibly putting even a third blind in there, but right now it's just 50-50.
And there's still a lot of people that are here. It's day 2 of Legends, and as the game starts to break, I would expect us to have probably 2 of these games. Gabe Thaler is in the game. Helmuth wanted, he's over on the side playing a little 400, 800 Chinese poker.
Right.
Those guys might come over as the game. We get word that Cloney Gowan might come in. Let's head over there and let's get into it.
Yeah, that's one of the things, like we've been saying, you never really know who is going to show up. It's hard to rely on a poker player. At the same time, obviously, with the tournament going on, other cash games going on, you never know who's going to show up. But, hey, it could be anybody. Ted Forrest could show up. Who knows? Tom Franklin. But as of now, we've got in seat number 1, we've got our own Mo, Action Mo, out of the tournament. Seat number 2, we've got Mike B. Now, I don't know much about him, but I'm going to get some information if I can about this player. Supposedly he's a pretty tight, solid player, but we don't know much about him yet. Seat number 3 is Jonas. And those familiar with Jonas, he's a Riverboat King on 2+2. Very solid lag, you might want to call it, loose, aggressive player. Seat number 4 is our own Mike, Corporation Mike there. Seat number 6, we got Barry Woods. Barry, do not call me Greenstein Woods. We're going to actually keep seat 5 open for any big-timers that come in. Seat number 7, we've got none other than Gabe Thaler. Actually, that's seat 8. We're going to jump to seat 7 first. And there it is. We got Gabe Thaler there. Gabe Thaler, one of the most respected cash game players in the world. Really a phenomenal cash game player. We had him in for guest commentary last Friday. And unfortunately, he didn't score well in the Legends of Poker main event. But here he is. See how he does today. Seat number 8 is a very good player. I've become friendly with him the last couple of weeks. Sam, very solid player. Normally plays a 20-40 game over at Commerce. That's his regular game. So he has no problem stepping it up here. And seat number 9 is quite possibly the luckiest player we've seen over the last 2 weeks. The man with the horseshoe up his ass. That's Allan.
And there he is. So we're playing 50-50 no limit hold'em right now. White chips are hundreds. Pinks are 50s. And a couple of program notes, if you're watching this is a free half-an-hour portion of Live at the Bike. If you want to watch this show in its entirety, you can click on the on-demand banner in the upper left-hand corner of the screen. Sign up for the archives, get you access to every show we've ever done, and you can watch this entire 3-hour broadcast. Special programming note for tomorrow at 3 o'clock Pacific time, open to everyone, not just archive subscribers. Dave Tuckman and myself will be playing Gavin Smith and Joe Seabach heads up circuit versus Live at the Bike in a kind of a round-robin format for charity. We will then stream a cash game at 7 o'clock, all the way up to the point when we will stream the final table of the charity event that the Bicycle Casino is holding for Paul Hannum from the WPT, who passed away a couple weeks ago.
Wait, so we're doing a cash game before the charity event?
Yes. Mo is going to
Does anybody believe in breaks in here?
Mo is going to raise it up here with Ace Queen. Makes it 300 to go.
So basically tomorrow we're going to be working from like 3 to 3.
And Gabe is going to call. You need to see Gabe's cards over there in seat number 7. We are heads up. Gabe's got Queen Jack of Diamonds. He is dominated here.
Well,
wow, he's got overs and a diamond draw.
Yeah, now you wonder, now Gabe, obviously, he knows not to lose his whole stack with just a queen or a jack. And he's going to check it. And Mo's going to make a continuation bet.
Bet 700 here.
Gabe obviously thinking what to do here. A lot of ways to play this hand.
So how is he going to do it, Dave?
Well, I'm not sure. It's kind of funny. Watching a player like that, I'm really excited because it's kind of a learning lesson as well. And it looks like he's announced raise.
Yep, he threw the 800 there, and he's going to get a gray chip, and that's 1,000. He makes the check raise.
1,400 more.
2,400.
Wow, 2,400 more.
And Mo quickly folds.
And he takes it down.
Yeah.
That's a big raise there. Nice check raise. And we always talk about, obviously, the check raise there. It's a tough play sometimes because if your opponent smooth calls you, well, then what do you do on the turn? But in this game right now, these players are not that deep. And I got to tell you, if Mo calls a 2400, pretty much he's pot committed himself.
Right.
And I would assume Gabe would just go, okay, well, let's just see the turn on the river and see what happens.
Right. But moves over here to Corporation Mike in seat number 4.
Obviously, if you're $25, $30, $40, $50,000 deep, well, then that's a wholly, completely different ball of wax.
Yep.
Now, this game is not that deep yet in relation to the blinds, but give it about an hour or so, and I guarantee you this game will probably be double the sizes right now.
So again, we will be playing the circuit. It will be free, 3 o'clock Pacific time tomorrow. We will take turns commentating on each other as Sam picks up pocket aces here under the gun in seat number 8. Another programming note about the circuit. I was actually on the circuit, Dave, the first episode of the Bicycle Casino with special guest host or special guest Yosh Nakano for about 40 minutes. They kind of grabbed me when I was walking over on Friday night.
And apparently Sam has made it 250, it looks like.
Yep.
Actually, 300. And he's going to take that. That's a big raise. And it's under the gun, obviously. Big raise. Remember, the blinds are only 50-50 right now. So he's actually raising it 6 times the blinds. Now, in relation to a 10-20 game, that's the normal, pretty much a normal size raise. But in this game, these players aren't that deep. So it's a pretty big raise. I mean, I would think 225 would probably be more in line, but we'll see how it's played. And Sam's a pretty solid player, by the way.
Scott Huff and all those guys filmed some video, kind of B-roll, and I think it will be up tonight on their website, promoting the match that we're going to have tomorrow. I know they came in here. They're going to come in here later on, do some B-roll. Getting all revved up for that match tomorrow, Dave?
I am. I'm really excited about it. You know what? We get to play for charity. I get to kick Joe Seabach and Gavin Smith's ass. Really excited about that. I know you'll beat him as well. And Live at the Bike will show where we belong. Okay? And the circuit will go down in flames. I mean, I can't believe Gavin Smith had the audacity to call my my co-commentator and my good buddy here a douche. We'll show him who the real douche is.
6-5-3 here. Gabe's got middle pair. And it goes check, check. Turns a 3.
And Gabe's pretty sure he probably has the best hand here. And he's going to... Well, you know what? He reaches for chips, and Sam says, you got it.
Yep.
I bet he's not going to have it, so I would...
Right, there you go.
So did you listen to that? How did you know they called me a douche?
You told me.
No. Far be it if you actually listened to the episode.
I need to go to the card. Now, obviously, I listen to almost every single episode of the circuit. I really like the circuit. But do I really need to go to the circuit? Now, the first episode had you on, and then had Yosh Nakano.
Yeah, I ran Yosh Nakano.
I'm quite familiar with you and Yosh. I don't think I need to listen to that episode. Now, if it was a player that I don't know, if they had Vanessa Russo on, which I think they had on this morning.
Today. Yeah. Be up tonight.
That sounds exciting. I'll go
Vanessa,
listen to that.
Vanessa, Huff was telling me Vanessa really crushed Seabach in the tournament.
Yeah, she had a bigger 2-pair over his smaller 2-pair. She's got doing great. She's got over 100,000 in chips right now.
Limped around here to Gabe Thaler on the button.
By the way, our own Amir is, and not Amir Vahidi, but our Amir, Live at the Bike Amir, is still in, and he's got chips, probably 90 or 100,000 chips.
6-way action here, limped around $300 pot. Jack 6-5 here. Oh, big flop for Gabe. He's got a flush draw and a pair. Let's see how strongly he plays it.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. Now, he is Mike B there in seat number 2. He's got top pair. I think he's going to put a little feeler bet out there. $300.
Yeah.
It'll be really interesting to see how Gabe plays this on the button.
Can we talk about, this is sometimes a better hand than having top pair in a flush draw because of the more outs that you'd have.
Right, you figure obviously if you hit a 5 here, you're probably good. Well, if you hit a jack here, you wouldn't be good because Mike would have a bigger kicker than you.
Now, I was going to say, if a blank comes here, well, Gabe makes 2 pair. I was going to say, if the deuce of diamonds came, would Gabe raise on the come maybe there on the turn? But now he's got 2 pair and a flush draw. Sure, he's going to bet now. Yeah,
well, Mike's in terrible shape here. Mike is going to need a jack or a queen that is not a spade. So he is down to, he's got 2 jacks and he's got 2 queens. He's got 4 outs with 1 card to come. He actually can catch a 6 as well. That is not a, he can catch a 6 that is not a spade as well, and obviously the 6 of spades is out there, so he's got 3 more outs. He has 7 outs to win it.
I don't know if that 7 changes anything when you talk about the draw there, and yeah, Mike B is going to make the call, and this pot is quickly about $2,500. Here we go to the river, and the river's a king, and I assume that Gabe is going to value bet 2 pair here.
Now, is that a card you have to be scared of, the king there? Does Gabe bet this? I mean, obviously you put your opponent on maybe Jack 10, Queen Jack, or King Jack, or Ace Jack. Does the king slow Gabe down, or does he think, you know what, my 2 pair, I'm going to bet for value here?
It's about a $2,500 pot.
And he is going to bet for value. You see a lot of players that would be scared of that river card
He bets 1,400 here. And again, that 7, it doesn't change much there.
No, not unless your opponent had, say, 4-3.
Yeah. Is Gabe the type of player, we've only seen him, this is the second time. What a play this would be to play this hand if Gabe had, say, Jack 10 and made the bet on the turn, made the bet on the river, knowing he didn't have the best hand.
Right. Well,
show it down.
The one thing that I'm really excited about, it was funny, Scott Huff asked me, what part of this job do you love? And this is the kind of the part of the job I love, when the game is good and you get to watch really, really great play.
It's about a $4,000 pot, 1,400 to call.
And apparently Mike B and Gabe are friends, which means nothing.
Yeah. Friends
play hard against each other. Talk about Doyle Brunson. We had him in the room and he was talking about Jennifer Harmon. And he said, Jennifer Harmon, she's like a daughter to me. She used to date Todd Brunson, his son, yet when he plays against her, he plays hard.
So, again, about $1,400 to call, a $3,900 pot here.
Yeah, a nice bet here by Gabe, really is. And like I said, one of the things that really makes me excited, and look at this, he's not going to call it, and Gabe is not going to show.
He can pretty much only beat Jack 10 or Jack 9, and then you always talk about, well, would Gabe really bet the turn and bet the river with that hand?
But what do you mean? Why couldn't he beat, say, Ace X of spades?
If he had a Jack,
Oh, right, yeah, clearly.
If Gabe was not betting a busted flush draw.
Right. And that's a big if. Obviously, would he bet that a busted flush draw? And apparently it's about $70,000 on the table. Not that much for the start of this game, but I'm telling you, as people start losing money, the money will get up there. And I'm going to finish my thought here, finally. Gabe, though, one of the things I love about this job is when you can watch really good players, because one of the things I love is, obviously, I'm in here not only to entertain myself and entertain our viewers, but I'm here to learn also. And watching good players can only make you better. So...
With a raise here by Mike, and Barry Woods calls him in position. Here we go. It's about a $500 pot.
Well, these players have bigger hands than they normally have. Look at this. Yeah, they actually both have at least picture cards.
Well, Mike's got King Queen, and he bets.
How many times have we seen Mike raise with King 4 and Barry call him with 10-5?
$400 bet here by Mike. Barry has totally missed this flop. Now, the old Barry Woods might play back, but remember, Barry, he has kind of been running a little bad. Played a little bit more passively.
Well, that's not passive. That's just smart.
No, but he would almost take it to the opposite extent, where he should fold, he ends up just calling to try to.
Yeah, I don't want to misconstrue, though. I don't want Barry to go back and watch the show and think that you're actually advocating making a move there.
No.
Ace Jack, you missed it, throw it away.
Yep.
You should open up a franchise.
Button moves over here to that's Allan.
The biggest problem with Barry's game has just been the fact that he's played fewer hands than he had in the past, but he's playing them more passively.
Right.
Well, we're saying, okay, play less hands, that's good, but play them more aggressively. Or as aggressive as you always did.
Mike raises again here to 300.
They got a lot of calories.
Well, Gabe's got King Jack offsuit here, Dave.
Right?
And he just folds it. We are playing 7-handed. I wonder if that would change things a
now,
little bit.
Gabe is a little bit familiar with Mike now. He's obviously a little bit familiar with Allan. He knows Jonas, and he knows Mike, and he knows Sam in Seed 8. It'll be really interesting to see how it goes. Now, I was asking Sam last night what he thought of Gabe Thaler's play, and he said that he really thinks he's one of the best cash game players out there.
Now, if you're playing 6-handed, does King Jack offsuit ever become a smooth call hand? 6-5-handed.
I got to tell you, King Jack to me, that's a hand I want to be raising with, or I want to throw it away. I might re-raise him though. I might re-raise Mike and put a little heat on him. But I don't want to give the betting lead to somebody else with King Jack.
I don't know. A lot of times people say, well, in all forms of poker, you should be either raising or folding. Although I got to tell you, when you're playing deep stacked, no limit, I have no problem calling pre-flop with a lot of hands in position.
Yeah, there are certain hands you can call with.
Yeah.
King Jack offsuit is not one of them, I don't think.
No, I agree with you. But I'm just saying that, to say that you always have to re-raise or fold. And I'll give you an example.
No, I agree with you 100% here. Ace 10-8, real nice flop if you had Queen Jack, but nobody's got Queen Jack.
7-6 here against Queen 3, and Jonas is going to take it. I'll give you an example, and I don't know if I said it. I know I discussed this, but Lynette Chan came up to me and said that she was actually a little bit irritated because she was talking about the hand that I kind of busted her when I had the quad kings, and Ron Rose came over to her, kind of interrupted her, and told her how she played the hand wrong pre-flop, that she's supposed to re-raise my raise with pocket tens all the time to see where she's at.
Yeah, and I disagree with that because the problem with that play is obviously let's say she re-raises you. Everybody folds in between.
Right.
Will you necessarily re-raise her with kings?
Right.
How much information are you really getting?
Right.
To the fact that he thinks his hand is big enough to call you.
Right. Barry's going to raise it up here. A little kind of a mini-ish raise with Jack 10 of diamonds. Made it 250. Now, Gabe's got ace queen offsuit next to act. Looks like he's got some white chips, and he is going to re-raise. Remember, we're playing 7-handed right now.
And that's another, see, you can smooth call, I think, with suited connectors. You can smooth call the pocket pair because you're looking to hit a set and win a big pot. But with a hand like ace queen, a hand like king jack, something like that, I really want to limit the field. I want to have position on my opponent who's raised, and I want to see where I'm at. But at the same time, what happens is, now, if everybody else folds and it's Barry and Gabe straight up, obviously Gabe's in a great position because he's got position the entire way through.
And Mike B is looking like he wanted to call with that suited connector. He's pretty deep, but he's not going to get involved. Now it's back over to Barry, who again kind of almost made a stop raise, Jack 10 of diamonds.
How big was the raise by Barry?
Barry made it 250, Gabe made it 600 total, and Barry calls, so this pot's quickly $1,000.
Actually, it's 1,200, right?
Well, there's the ace.
Now Gabe's smart enough to know that ace queen could be in trouble here. Let's see how he plays it.
Well, it looks like Barry might come out and bet here.
Well, Barry incorrectly thinks that somebody re-raising me must have a pocket pair.
Right.
Must have kings or queens trying to represent. And
Gabe's looking at Barry's stack. You wonder how deep Barry is. Not that deep in this game. Maybe only 5,000 or so.
Yeah, about 5,000. Good guess.
Now, when you're talking about playing short stack here, is there value to raising here if you think Barry has nothing?
Yeah, I mean...
What if he's betting on clubs? Would you kind of...
Right, obviously in this case there's no value to it at all. Now, how much did Barry bet?
He bet 1,100 into a
1,100, and I think Gabe is just going to call.
Yep, he did call.
Wow, the pot is quickly $3,500.
Yep, and Barry's almost drawing dead. Turn is an 8. Now Barry is drawing dead. Look at Gabe stare Barry Woods down.
Well, Gabe is smart. Gabe knows that I can't beat two pair here. I can't beat ace king here.
Wow, and Barry looks like he's going to bet out again here.
Well, I really think, and obviously I'm trying to get inside somebody's head here, I really think Barry thinks Gabe has kings or queens, and he's trying to get him off of it. And, against a lot of players, we know a re-raise means kings or queens.
And Barry's going to come out and bet again.
Wow, and he's betting, what, 2,000, 2,500?
$2,000 bet here by Barry Woods. Probably $5,500, $2,000 to call, and it looks like he's got maybe 3,000 left in his stack.
I gotta tell you, man, you gotta love Gabe's expressions here.
Yeah.
His eyes opened up he's trying to figure it out here. It's tough. Ace queen, obviously. He's way behind the set. He can't beat a set of sixes, can't beat a set of fours, can't beat two pair. You probably wouldn't put him on ace six or ace four.
Well, I don't know if you can put him on any of those cards like a set. He raised under the gun.
Yeah, now, it's just a play where Barry's trying to get him off kings or queens. And I think Gabe is going to put it all in here. And he's going to, you got ace king, you got ace king.
Yep. And he's going to put him in. Makes it 4,000 more. That will put Barry in.
Now, the funny thing is that normally you'd say there's not much value to raising there because now Barry can throw it away.
Right.
But how does Gabe know that, obviously? And Gabe probably thinks, well, he must have something.
Right.
If he bet twice into me here, he bet 1,100, now he bet 2,500. He must have something. He probably has a weaker ace than me. Maybe he's got clubs, maybe he's got two pair, but I know he's got a call, right? He's pot committed. But in this case, obviously, Barry is drawing dead. Barry's completely drawing dead.
To get to another level, would Gabe ever think that Barry might have something like, say, kings here, and Gabe's trying to make it look like he has queens, and he's trying to get Barry off of kings?
It's funny. You never know. I mean, obviously, it's one of those places where you almost think if Barry had anything there, he probably was pot committed. I'm not sure if Barry can get away from it, but in that case, Barry's got nothing. Gabe quickly up about $4,000 tonight. And what happened to Patrick Antonius tonight? I thought maybe we were getting him tonight.
I had heard that he had expressed interest, and I don't know where Patrick Antonius is. Yeah, again, Phil Hellmuth had also expressed interest, and Cloney Gowan said that she was going to be here.
Is this the truth? Am I that stupid? That I paid so little attention to Harris? That Mike B is Mike Binger?
150.
It is. That is Mike Binger. Third place at the World Series, yeah.
Is that really? Is that
it
him?
is, yeah.
That is
because
him.
I watched the pay-per-view.
So that's him?
Yeah.
I feel like an ass. I feel like a complete ass. The guy wanted to sit down, and I'm like, no, I don't know this guy. I don't want this guy in the game. Get rid of him. Let's get somebody else in the game. Oh, my apologies to Mike B there. Oh, I feel like such a jackass. God.
Mo's flopped a straight here, but it's all spades. And Mo's going to bet. So that is Mike Binger, third place at the main event, the World Series.
Did I actually start that Mike B? Well, I don't know anything about this guy, but I hear he's a pretty tight and solid player. I got to tell you, man, that's something priceless. That is absolutely priceless. Only on Live at the Bike. Nick DeNuts pointed it out. How stupid am I? God, I feel like an ass.
No, I mean, at least I watched the pay-per-view and I didn't pick it up.
Yeah, how the hell did you not know that?
Well, nobody else pointed it out at the table either. You know,
it's unreal.
It was never mentioned, and now it's coming through.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
Okay, well, apparently we've got Gabe Thaler,
Yeah.
professional poker player in seat number 7. We've got Mike Binger, third place in the main event this year in seat number 2, and a bunch of Live at the Bike locals.
Yeah. Well, Mike has raced up here with ace-jack. Allan's got 9-10, and he makes the call. This spot is quickly about $500.
And apparently tomorrow night's show will be open to everybody. It will be free to everybody.
Now, is tomorrow the afternoon show is going to be free? Is the night show? Everything's going to be free tomorrow.
The entire night tomorrow.
Yeah.
So you can watch Gavin Smith, Joe Seebeck, a lot of players.
I'm assuming that we're going to have at least a probably pretty big cash game before we have the tournament, the final table on as well.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
I was considering playing the charity event. I guess not. I guess I'm working. I didn't realize that.
Well, apparently, you have some work ethic, huh?
How lame is that? What do you mean some work ethic? I'm sorry, we're getting here at 3. We're going to be working for 2 or 3 hours doing the thing. Then at like 9 or 10 o'clock.
Then a 2-hour break.
And then at 9 or 10, we're doing the final table, the charity event. Right.
It's a long day.
Apparently Ronnie, our own Ronnie, has picked the circuit boy guys, the circuit, to win. Ronnie, you're disowned. You're no longer my friend.
Buttons here in Barry Wood's hand. Mike is going to raise it up here to 250. Gabe Kaplan's got 8-5 of clubs. He is going to call.
No, Gabe Thaler. Gabe Kaplan's still in the tournament.
Gabe Thaler, excuse me.
Welcome back, Cotter. Still in the tournament. Yeah. Wow, and look at this flop.
Mike flops bottom 2 pair here. 7-3.
But Gabe's got nothing yet.
The play is coming.
And Mike is going to bet. He bets 400 here, and he's going to take it down there. Mike does not slow play, obviously. That is a flop that you pretty much would want to get the money in. If, say, Gabe had check raised you there, and you hope maybe he had an overpair, maybe even a high overpair like queens or kings, something like that.
Of
maybe
course.
Aces.
Yeah.
You know. Here comes Sam. Jonas is going to move over to seat 5.
You know, and I love the fact that Barry Woods wants to be aggressive. Obviously, you just got to pick your spots, though.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean bluffing. It just means be aggressive when you think you have the best hand.
Right.
Be aggressive with that hand. It doesn't mean bluff. And here we got the messenger on the board here. That's David Kelsey. Says Kelsey here, looking forward to making sure Barry doesn't donate this evening. Well, you're a little too late already. Garland here says, interesting game with Dave's idol, Gabe Thaler.
He goes on to say, can you ever find a spot where you would question
Of course. Hey, no, not even a question. I'm sure I will criticize. I'm sure I will question it. It's hard for me to criticize it because sometimes you see a play from a player that, honestly might be beyond our play. Sometimes, we watched Scotty Lundgren, who's been playing this game for 30 years, smooth call with pocket kings in the big blind, and we're going, what is he doing? But can we criticize that play or just kind of question it and say, well, maybe that's maybe that part should be in our arsenal too?
Again, for everyone that just joined us, I was on the circuit, and one of the first things that they asked, Seabach, Gavin Smith, and myself, was about the whole Jamie Gold incident. The reason why I'm bringing this up is because I said on that show, no one really knows anything. You hear different rumors. The reason why I'm bringing this up is David Kelsey actually does know. He's like one of the guys that probably does know the whole situation.
Yeah,
he's not saying anything about it.
He's not going to say anything, and I wouldn't expect him to.
Yeah,
He's friends with Jamie Gold, and until it's
Right.
all cleared up, until it's all cleared up, it's all it's all conjecture, it's all rumor.
Johnny Chan wouldn't say anything either.
Yes, Mike. Give me 15 minutes.
And looks like we got a couple of pocket pairs here: 4s, 3s, and deuces. 8-7 suited here for seat 4. And we had a raise, and I think it was a raise by Mike.
Yeah.
And it looks like we're going to see 4 people in here.
Oh shit, I should raise.
Here we go. Deuces, deuce 4, threes and 7-8, 5-way action. $1,500 pot. Mike was the pre-flop raiser with 7-8 of hearts in seat 4.
Well, 4s are in the lead here. Allen's got the best hand.
You wonder if Mike is going to fire out here.
Into that many players. You know, it's not a terrible flop for you in the sense that there's really only one overcard. Well, now the king of clubs comes out there.
Gets checked around. Allen's still good here with 4s. And it gets checked around once again, and the river is an 8. Oh, now Mike rivers.
Mike
he rivers the best hand.
Now, will he bet for value here?
I don't think so.
And he's going to check it down. I don't think anybody's going to take a shot at it.
Gabe is also giving up. Mike's going to win it there with the 8. That is good. Getting word that Johnny Chan kind of hovering around the table, checking
he's
things out.
considering playing in the game.
Yeah.
And once again, I will point out, obviously, the game right now is 50-50. There's a good chance this game will move up to 50-100 later on.
Yeah.
Or maybe even 3-blind structure.
Yeah. Again, you can email us at live@thebike.com.
Funny thing is that they've got a big 400-800 mix game going on over there. But this game actually can play bigger than a 400-800 game.
Yeah.
Especially if it moves to the 50-100.
Yeah. And there's Phil Hellmuth.
Yep, Phil Hellmuth playing a mixed game.
Phil Hellmuth, Dr. Dennis, right next.
We also have Tom Franklin in that game, by the way.
Doyle Brunson, right there. I'd love to see him play some No Limit, huh?
But that would be a treat.
Great.
That would be a great treat.
Yeah.
Somehow we can convince him to play.
Yeah. Button moves over here to Allan in seat 9. And Mike Binger has moved over to seat 3. He's moved over to the left. So we're going to see a lot of him. Just like I said, we're going to see a lot of Sid Arthur Jane, who won the biggest pot in the history of Live at the Bike on Friday night here. And we got pocket queens here for Mo. And he's going to... Allan raised and Mo raised with ace
Sam
jack.
raised. Actually, Sam raised with jacks. Allan called with queens.
Sam has raised with king jack.
Oh,
Allan
king
has
jack.
called with queens.
Thank you. Sorry.
And Mo has
Just
re-raised
re-raised
with ace jack. So Allan just smooth called with the queens, and Mo playing aggressive.
And it's an easy laydown for Sam here. Real easy laydown for Sam. And I'm pretty sure Allan will at least call this. And if a jack were to come off, there's only 2 jacks left. You wonder if Mo's going to go broke against Allan.
900 here to call. Well, Mo's playing some short stack play here. I don't know if I'd pick this spot to push with, but...
Well, you got a cutoff seat raiser.
Yeah.
He thinks, okay, that guy doesn't have to be that strong. He's
Allan
right.
called. Allan could call with ace 3.
Exactly. Allan
Yeah.
calling means that he's probably not that strong, but Allan's been trying to, he tries to play that trap game a little bit more lately.
Right.
He doesn't realize that he's probably going to end up trapping himself one of these days.
And Allan is going to call here. He makes the call.
Just cleaning up, man. Just cleaning up.
And here we go.
You mind?
Get about a $2,000 pot to the flop. 9-3-3 here. Well, I don't know if Allan can get away from it, Dave. I mean, Mo pushes in,
Why would Allan go
and
in?
Allan is going to call.
You don't know if he would get away from it? Why would he?
Wow, and this pot is going to be close to $6,000 or $7,000.
And the funny thing is everybody's criticizing Allan for getting really lucky. Allan's just waiting for the hands, and people are paying him. People are giving him money.
Turns a deuce. Mo needs an ace. He hits a jack, but that's no good. Allan's going to win it there with queens.
And you know what? Allan slow plays the queens a little bit, kind of plays a little trap game here, and he gets paid. And he doubles up there.
And nice hand, and Allan continues his hot run there.
Yeah.
It's been unbelievable there for Allan.
Yeah, and obviously Allan's been getting lucky times, but sometimes, here, Allan just smooth calls with queens, plays him a little slow, and ends up Mo just giving him all his money.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, if Mo had kings or aces, yes, you're going to lose. But I got to tell you, if I have queens in that spot, I'm probably going to lose. I'm probably going to go broke also.
Yeah.
If Mo has aces or kings.
Player, collection this hand. Yeah, she's getting the money right now. Collection this hand.
And we're going to have a collection pot here.
Collection pot.
Again, we're getting word that Johnny Chan is kind of hovering around the table.
Number 1 is.
I think he's doing more than hovering. Is that his head over?
There he is.
And Johnny's going to come into seat number 2. Wow, what a treat.
Oh, money back coming, huh?
And Corporation Mike and Johnny Chan have a history. Have a history.
Be nice to me, Jody. Don't put me.
And this is definitely quite a treat here.
And I'd like to suggest to Donna that we raise the blinds to 5,100 at this point. Now there's a little more money on the table.
Go ahead.
So back
Jack
to where
8
we
deuce
were.
here with a couple clubs. And Mike has got top pair here in seat 4, and he checked it. Turns a queen.
Betting 100.
And Mike Binger there, he bets 100 out of seat 3 with deuce 9, and Corporation Mike just calls. Binger took a shot at it, now he checks, and now Mike's going to bet 100 for value here with King Jack. And that is Mike Binger there in seat 3. And so Mike actually induced that little bet there on the turn and made it kind of a little value bet on the river. And there's Johnny Chan in seat 2. And I think we are going to raise the blinds here.
Yeah, we're going to get word, see if we can do that. Obviously, the game started off a little bit short, but at this point now there's probably another $30,000 on the table.
Yeah.
No point in not raising these blinds at the 5,100.
Yeah, 50. Later we may go on.
Button moves over here to seat 3.
And you can see Barry Woods reloading.
Yeah.
And everybody's going to start. Now the money's going to start coming out. Sometimes it takes about an hour to get this game warmed up. This one has taken about 34 minutes. And we are on.
How are you guys?
Once again, we are live at the bike. I'm David Tuckman here with Bart Hansen. You are watching live at the bike. Blinds are 50-50 right now. We've got Johnny Chan. We've got Mike Binger, third place finish, the main event at the World Series. And we also have none other than Gabe Thaler in seat number 7. Should be a real exciting game.
Now, Allan raises it up here to 400. Again, 50-50 blinds, so that's actually 80 times the big blind. And he's going to take it down. And so Allan continues to be on a tear here in this game. Well, most said he was going to give it a little bit of time before raising the blinds to 50 to 100. I don't think it really makes that much of a difference, Dave. I mean,
I just like to kind of... I'd like to get, I mean, it's for us at least, obviously, during Legends, I like to get the biggest game we possibly can. Obviously, if we make it 5,100, that might entice more money to come on the table.
Right.
Before you know it, maybe we can break the $200,000 barrier tonight. It would be a first time for Live at the Bike.
Again, you can email us at live@thebike.com. Questions, comments, suggestions, always appreciated.
And of course, I'm getting all the emails now. Seat 2, Mike B is Michael Binger. Hello.
6 player.
6-way action here, limped around. 7-3-6, rainbow board here.
Yeah, I'm trying to get a sight here. We got a 7 in seat number 3. That's Mike Binger. He's in the cutoff seat, and he's going to butt it up.
Betting 300.
He bets $300.
Yeah, with 7-6, he's got top 2. Bet 300 here.
And Mike is going to make a little move here, it looks like.
Yeah, Mike raised him here on the come. He's got a gut shot to the 9, it looks like. 6-7 against 8-10. Mike has raised here.
Yeah, Mike B with top 2.
And let's see how Mike B is going to play this. He just called. And Allan's in there as well with 3-4. And the turn's a 5, and Allan makes the straight, and he checked it.
That's insane.
Unbelievable.
Allan calls with bottom pair
and
and a
it's going
cut
to get
shot.
checked around. He did not bet the turn. Here we go to the river, and the river's a 4, and now a straight plays on the board.
No, but Mike's got an 8.
But Mike has an 8, and he's got the higher straight.
And it's time for Mike to value bet this.
And Mike B's hand just turned into absolute garbage.
Oh, yeah. He has nothing here. He can't do anything except check and fold, really. See, he's going to make a move, though. He's going to bet.
He bets 800. Mike is just going to call here.
Well, I mean, you wonder, is there any value to raising it up there? Because obviously, if you raise it up, if Mike is bluffing, he's not going to call you if he's 8-9, or if he backed into spades, well, then you're dead.
Yeah.
I mean, remember, Mike B could easily have, say, Ace-7 of spades, something like that.
Yeah.
Even 8-7 of spades, who knows? And Corporation Mike correctly just calls that.
Well, there's the critical thing that Allan has got to realize, that he cannot check the turn and give a free card to an obvious, because no one's really going to bet there without a straight. That's exactly what he did.
Yeah, not usually.
Yeah.
Ben, he's going to bet. Ben,
and that's exactly what Mike said there. Against those two guys, or specifically, I really don't think that you can check there and give a couple people free cards.
Well, that's the problem. A lot of times, people always, one of the reasons Corporation Mike does well in these games is people always expect him to bet for them.
Right.
And they end up giving him free cards that make him a lot of money. You can't give aggressive players free cards left and right. You just can't do it.
Button moves here to seat 5. Jonas. I wonder if Jonas has ever played with Johnny Chan before. You wonder how often Johnny Chan hops into no limit cash games. We asked him.
He said he said he used to play it a lot, obviously, and then kind of dried up, and he's gotten back into it a little bit. Obviously, he knows how to play. He's a poker player, though, so he can adapt.
Mike's going to raise it up here to 250. So that's, again, 5 times the blind. Like you said, actually, if it's $100 in the big blind, I guess the raise size will probably get a little bit bigger.
Well, the raise size gets the re-raises get bigger. There'll be more money on the table.
Ace, Queen, 8 here. Mike was the pre-flop raiser with 7-9. Jonas called with Jack 9. And Mike's going to bet 350 here. Now, Jonas has a gut shot, Dave, to the 10.
Yeah.
Which would not be the nut straight, obviously. We still talk about going for those gut shots.
Yeah, it's tough enough to make it. Now, in this case, I think he's going to raise, though.
Raising 800.
Yeah, he's going to put some heat on Mike right away, and Mike's going to throw it away. Much better call, much better play than just calling with a gut shot there. Jonas takes it away.
Well, the only thing about there for Jonas, though, and I don't know if that move is right or wrong, but I'll throw something out at you. If Jonas is going to raise there against a tight player that might lay down something like Ace-King or maybe even Ace-Jack, then okay, it's a good move. But how much fold equity is it there for Jonas to raise, knowing that Mike is not going to lay down a weak ace? I guarantee you Mike does not.
What ends up Mike has nothing, though, like he will
right
have
there.
most of the time, right? You know what I mean? There's a lot of fold equity in the sense that you can't. What do you want to just call down with Jack high and hope?
No, I'm not saying you're going to call down, but I'm just saying, I know that Mike could raise with middle cards, but by you raising and then Mike calling, he could be calling with almost anything. Just doesn't get you a whole lot of information there. And I know he does have a
you're
draw.
right. Oh, of course. But generally speaking, if Mike, he may lay down second pair, he may lay down bottom pair, and he'll probably lay down no pair, no draw, which with Mike is probably 30% of the time. Sometimes you just got to stand your ground against him. I'm not saying go in there with nothing, but at the same time, sometimes you want to if you think he's weak. Especially with a button bet by Mike. I mean, you really don't get much.
Well, here's an email here from Jason saying, hey guys, the reason why you might not have noticed Mike Binger was because he dyed his hair blue.
I might not have noticed him because I didn't really pay attention to the main event. That's too.
Well, he had darker hair during the main event. So.
Well, I saw the picture of him, and he kind of looks the same to me. Yeah, we're getting fancier. We got fancier water bottles here now at Mike.
4.1.
And the button moves over here to Barry Woods in seat 6.
Yep. Once again, small blind 50, big blind 50. Allan will be under the gun.
Remember when we were hanging out at the house in the middle of the afternoon playing like $50 home tournament?
Yeah.
Probably got close to about 100,000 on the table now. Started with 70. I know Mo rebought, and then Johnny Chan joined the game. Quite a game here.
Johnny Chan, Mike Binger. And like I said, in 4 weeks from now, Mike Binger might be recognized like if he walks down the street or in a mall.
Of course, he's a third-place finisher.
Right.
He's going to get tons of TV time.
And I just wasn't as impressed with that. And then
He actually got knocked out by. He had Ace 10, and Jamie Gold raised him on an open-ended straight draw and made the straight on.
Yeah,
Jamie Gold
3-4.
was running so well,
Well, and also, I mean, I want to say that he probably had close to 8 or 9 million chips, and Jamie Gold had like 67. So Jamie Gold obviously could continue fighting it there. Now Johnny Chan had raised it up, but we did not get to see his hand. We need to see Johnny Chan's hand.
Gold called with 3-4 offsuit. Flop game 10-5-6. I bet.
Well, Jonas is in there with deuce 5 of clubs, king, queen, queen. Johnny checks. Jonas checks right behind him.
And once again, we need to see Johnny Chan's hand.
Turn is a 6. And Jonas is going to bet. Johnny checked again here. Again, we do not see Johnny's hand. And Johnny's out of there. Looks like you could see one small heart there, but nothing else.
8 hours earlier. So.
That hand came down a little different though.
I think I played my hand correctly. I'm not so sure that limping and calling 3-4. I mean, but it worked out well. How did the hand come down?
He got his money in first with the double gutter, and Allan called it off with the top pair, ace kicker, and then he made it.
Yeah, I felt like if I won that hand, I would be.
Button moves over here to Gabe Thaler, seat 7.
Who busted Allan? Jamie or who busted Allan?
Johnny's going to limp in here.
Doug came with both Brett lost it, but Jamie
You can see the 10 of diamonds.
And maybe Ray can show him how to put his
10,
cards in the
Jack of spades, 10 of diamonds.
in the window. That would help us out.
That's a call, right? Yes.
How much did you get the night before the final?
We'll just keep a close eye on it briefly,
The day before we played 27-9 to get I got virtually no.
And it looks like it's going to get limped around here.
5 player.
So 5-way action, $250 pot. Here we go to the flop. 8-6-8 here, rainbow, and Gabe's got trip eights.
See how he plays it? He's on the button.
Yep.
Notice how Gabe likes to play a lot of hands in position on the button. He saw 7-5 of spades, 8-9 offsuit.
Yeah.
Not seeing Gabe too much, though, out of position play.
And he's going to bet. He bets 200 here.
And I don't think anybody can call him. Nah, nobody's going to.
No one's got really anything.
And Gabe takes it down.
Yeah.
Doesn't show.
How long was the final finish?
Shorter than I ever thought. Finished at 3:45 in the morning. And puts it at just under 12 hours.
Email here from Steve Marzalowski saying that Jamie Gold was on the radio show Rounders, the poker show. That was a show that I was on back in May. But the lawsuit hadn't been filed, but he did clear up some things, and then he's really hasn't said anything since then.
Well, pretty much exactly. Once the lawsuit happened, Jamie Gold has pretty much gone into hiding, hasn't said a thing. I'm going to take a lot of... I'm good friends with David Kelsey, and the fact that Kelsey is friends with Jamie Gold tells me a lot about Jamie Gold's character, and I'm just going to give the guy a benefit of the doubt until I know more.
Yeah.
There's really no point in us giving our opinion on something we have no knowledge about.
Button moves over here to Sam and seat 8. Sam's a real tight player, isn't he?
No, I don't think he's tight weak. He's a tight, aggressive player. He's a good poker player. Can he win? I mean, he's solid.
Gabe has raised it with ace queen here. Allan calls with pocket nines.
Wow, Sam did not call eights.
Well, I think he had actually 8-9.
8-9, okay, big difference.
Jack 5-7 here.
I don't know, I'm getting where he had pocket eights, but you know what though? He might not have wanted to play against Gabe heads up.
Well, it goes check. The turn's a 7. Gabe took a card there. Allan's good with 9s, and Allan's going to bet. He bets 300.
Now the funny thing is, if Gabe is not familiar with Allan,
calls.
Well, the funny thing is, if Gabe's not familiar with Allan, you think maybe I induced his bluff by checking the flop.
And the river's a 10.
But we know Allan would not bet the turn there unless he had a pair. And look at this, he's going to bet for value. Or is he trying to bet to get him off a jack?
Little blockish bet out, maybe. He bets 500 here, and Gabe might think, is he betting on a busted flush draw?
Well, Gabe said, I find it hard to believe that you have a jack.
And Gabe calls, and Allan's going to win it there with 9s.
Wow.
And Gabe says, I find it hard to believe that you have a jack there. But obviously Gabe is not as familiar with Allan as we are. We know Allan is betting the turn there. He at least has 2 pair.
Right.
And ace queen is not good.
And Allan continues on fire. Beating Gabe Taylor, they're one of the best cash game players. And they are talking on the table, Mike Binger and talking about the second place finisher, who I actually interviewed and will have sometime on the show. And I forget the gentleman's name. Oh, Paul Waseka.
Maybe we can turn the table mic up a little bit and listen to him.
Queen of spades came on a river. Jamie Gold hit 7 of clubs on a tournament.
So he would have won the whole tournament? He would have won the top.
What's that?
Tossic would have won the whole tournament.
He would have tripled up to 40 million, and I would have been eliminated, and he would have been almost equally stacked with Jamie Gold.
Raised 250 total.
Going into heads up action. Yeah.
Yeah, he had an open-ended straight flush draw. Paul Waseka did. Binger bet out. Jamie Gold raised all in, and Waseka decided to fold, thinking either the guy had higher spades or because of the prize money implications.
I got you right. Well, it is. What was it like? 12 million, 6 million, like 4.5 million.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Jack 9-4 here. We're heads up between Mike Binger and Johnny Chan. Ace King here.
I guess he pretty much made a decision right there on the spot, saying, "Okay, I'm going for second place, and I'm not going to try to win this."
Check on the flop. The turn's a queen of diamonds here. Yeah, we can't see what Johnny has in his hand. Check again. And the river's a 7.
Betting 200.
And Johnny's going to bet 200 here. And he's going to take it down. Might just check it down the whole way.
You know, you both fall in. He got knocked out. He still got second place money.
Yeah, I just couldn't believe it.
It's very hard to figure out.
Even if he's in a worse
Johnny
scenario where he's up against like a bigger flush draw,
Button moves here to
he's still
C1.
got 8 outs twice. He's still getting correct money. He's only getting 3-1 with money. So he's still like big license straddle player.
Which were the spades?
10 queen.
So it's 10 of clubs, 5-6 of spades. He has 7 of 8 of
You could
spades.
be in jail in that hand, right?
What's that?
You know, it's funny, you know, like I said, I asked Waseka when he was in here on Sunday about that hand. You know, a lot of people said it was part of the laydown, that he was just playing conservatively, but he thought Jamie Gold might have had a higher flush draw, and if he did, he was in bad shape.
Well, yeah, then he's only got 2 spade draws.
Right.
He basically has 8 outs there.
Right.
That's it. He's got the 2. He's basically got the open-ended straight draw
8 outs twice. And
plus those spades. And that's it.
Yeah.
You know what, though? Getting 2-1 with 8 outs, you might want to. If you want to win the tournament, that's probably a hand that he had to call. If he wants to just move up the ladder one more and make another $2 million. Well, okay. Hey, I can't fault somebody that wants to make $2 more million. $2 million is still $2 million.
Oh, look at this. And Mike B has raised it. Well, he's in the big blind, and Mike straddled. In Corporation, Mike straddled in C4. And Mike's got ace-queen. And he just calls.
He was about to raise.
Yeah.
And then he kind of, on second thought, he said, you know what, I'll just let him see how it plays out.
Well, Jack's 6-8. Now, Mike B has the betting lead here.
And he's going to put out a little continuation bet. And now Mike's in a tough spot here, and he's going to call.
He calls. This spot is quickly about $1,400. Turn 7.
I got to tell you, if Binger can shoot out another shot here, he's probably going to take this down. But if he checks it, Mike will probably take it away.
But if they both bust out, it's not like he was going heads up.
Sure enough, he checks it, Mike's going to bet. And I got to assume that's probably it. Binger's going to lose it. Corporation takes it down.
You know, the other thing that, and look at this, Mike shows ace-queen. The other thing that Waseka said, and again, we will have that interview up, because I interviewed him here on Sunday, was that he thought that Binger would have folded. Binger bets with ace-10. Now, it was three-handed, and I don't necessarily know, but he said he thought Binger would have folded. Binger bets ace-10. Jamie Gold moves all in. If he calls, he thinks Binger folds.
And then he's not getting the equity.
Well, not getting the equity, and also the fact that he loses the hand, he's out in third place.
Right. I'll still stand by my button. I have no problem with the laydown, because moving up a spot there is worth $2 million. Okay? But it's just one of those times where I think in that kind of spot, if you want to win the tournament, you probably need to make that call with an open-ended straight flush draw. If you don't want to win the tournament and you want to just move up the ladder, okay. Nothing wrong.
Look at this. Johnny's going to raise it to 300 here with 7-4 offsuit.
Who am I? I'm not going to start faulting a guy who came in second place in the main event.
Right.
He obviously did pretty much everything right.
It's 100% you're calling that.
Yeah, it's probably true. I mean,
If you had an ace unpaired hand,
I had a jack with it. It was suited. I call it.
no. I mean, I'm not calling unless I have something. But given the way the hand went down, given that.
Did you call before Paul Watson made his decision, or did he call me?
No, he was last to act. So I made 3.5.
no, he's in the middle.
I'm in the middle. I made 3.5. Jimmy Gold's all in.
Yeah. I see what you. If you had called first, then it would be.
But there's 6 million in the pot, pre-flop, and my 3.5. Jimmy's 3.5 plus. The Paul had about 12.
I don't think it's
Here we go with the first chip down of the night.
105,000 on the table. Johnny Chan's got the table covered. He's got 30,000. Gabe with 18.5. Mike Binger with 12. Allan with 10. And let's see how they're doing. Allan's our big winner. He's up 5,000 again. Gabe up 3,500. Mo down a quick 5, and Mike Binger's down 3,000. We'll keep track of this throughout the evening. Guys, still got 2 hours left in our show tonight. We will keep track of this. Once again, if you want to email us, keep the show interactive, you can email us at live@thebike.com. If any of your questions, comments, criticisms, or anything else you want to say, just say hi. You can also follow a live thread over at 2plus2.com. Go to televised poker. Go to Live at the Bike for...
Well, look at this.
What is this? August 20...
Jonas has flopped a set here. Who was the pre-flop raiser here? Ace 10-6 on the flop. And it was Gabe who was the pre-flop raiser with Queen 9. Jonas is going to bet right out into the set. And Mike B smooth call with Ace Queen. Jonas is betting out into the raiser and into 3 people. How is Mike Binger going to play this?
Yeah, I like the play here. I really like the way Jonas is playing this hand. I really like to bet right into him.
And those are $1,000 chips that Binger has over there, those gray ones.
Yeah, now the problem with this play for Binger here, he's got Ace Queen. Obviously, we saw it earlier where Gabe made a big call to Ace Queen. That was heads up. Now this is 4 raised though, and now you've got Ace Queen with no redraw. Remember, you do not have a heart in your hand. A lot of hands you cannot beat here. I mean, you got to think the only hand you really can beat is Ace Jack, right? I mean, what is Jonas betting into it? Maybe Jonas has got a flush draw.
Well, he's going to call,
and he makes the call.
And this pot is quickly over $2,000.
And Mike B is almost drawing dead. I mean, he's in terrible shape, and now he is dead.
Well, turns a heart. That could be a little bit of an action killer. Let's see is Jonas going to continue to lead, or is that heart scare? And he checks.
Now, the only scary thing is, though, did Jonas maybe bet his flush draw, and now that he got there, check it? We see some players do that all the time.
Well, Binger might go with the thing where he bets. He doesn't have a heart in his hand, Dave, so he might bet this turn and check it down on the river because he doesn't have a heart.
Yeah,
the Queen of Hearts in his hand.
Well, exactly. If he gets called here, he might check it down.
Yeah.
But if he gets called here, it's almost you have to look at it and going, I'm probably beat. This guy probably has Ace 10.
And Jonas is going to check call here. And again, this pot is close to almost $4,000.
Yes, and Binger is drawing dead.
Here we go to the river. Oh, and the river's a 4th heart, and Jonas's hand is garbage now.
Yeah, he can only beat a complete bluff here. And let's see if Binger tries the bluff.
It's a $4,000 pot here. Jonas had a set. Binger and Jonas both don't have a heart in their hand.
And Binger probably thinks he has to bet this to win it. Can't think ace-queen is good here. I mean, unless somehow Jonas has got ace-jack, but with Jonas check and call with ace-jack on the turn. At this point, if you're Binger, you got to think you're beat, don't you?
This pot's actually a little bigger. It's actually about a $4,800 pot right now. And what is Binger going to do? If he checks it down in the showdown, he loses.
Right.
Could he get Jonas off of a smaller heart, like you said?
Well, I mean, you got to start thinking of what he has here.
And he checks it down, and Jonas is going to win it with a set of 10s.
3 10s.
And Jonas is going to win it here.
Yeah.
You know, Mike's in a tough spot. It's a lot easier for us, obviously, because of what the card is there. We see it. Really a tough spot, though, because could Jonas have hearts, and is the bluff kind of futile? I mean, is there no point in bluffing there?
Right.
Could Jonas even have, say, the jack of hearts in his hand, and is there any point in bluffing at all?
Email here from Boston saying, kick-ass guys tomorrow. All the best on the heads-up matches tomorrow. Take names and destroy those circuit monkeys.
Okay.
Yeah, that'll be
Again,
pretty.
we will be streaming at 3 o'clock Pacific time, and as well as I've gotten word that it will be up on cardplayer.com streaming as well.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, it will be. Okay, that's
Yeah.
great. Wow, that's fabulous.
And we got a raise here. Looks like by Gabe Thaler. He's going to make a little mini raise, Dave. He makes it 100. Kind of that stop raise with pocket fives. Kind of pulling a play out of Moe's book, right?
You know what? It's working, though.
Yeah. Kind of named his price to see this flop,
Yeah.
and he got it happen.
Surprising that he would work that.
Ace, Queen, King.
Not a real good flop for 2 5s.
Well, Barry's got top and bottom here. He's got Ace, Queen. 2 spades out there. He's going to bet.
And you know what? It's a good bet by Barry. It really is. That kind of flop, you don't want to give up a free card. Obviously, if a spade, a jack, or a 10 were to come up, your ace queen is garbage. And Barry's going to take it down. Pretty sure. Yeah. Barry might be upset that he's not getting any action, but I got to tell you, on a flop like that, you don't really want that much action with ace queen.
And we just got word from the Pajedo that Yosh Nakano just busted Seabach out of Legends, which means that it will be Joe Seabach and Gavin Smith playing against us, not Scott Huff.
And a bigger flush draw.
Because if Seabach was still in, Scott Huff was going to take his place.
Oh, wow, that would have really been easy.
Yeah.
Jeez. Oh, man. I got to tell you, if Seabach wasn't in and Scott Huff was, maybe I would have had to take a break and let Ray or Isaac take over.
But moves here to C5 to Jonas.
I think Ray just wants to get me in the ring, not at the poker table, but like the UFC ring. And I got to tell you, my mom didn't raise a moron. I'm not going to fight you, Ray. Not a chance in hell.
Flipped around here 4 ways, $200 pot. Ace, 7, deuce, all hearts
The
here.
hearts are hot.
The only person with a heart in their hand is, looks like 9-4. We don't even have it up.
Well, Johnny's got queen of hearts.
No, Johnny's not in the hand. Turns king.
Oh, okay.
And this is going to get checked around once again. And the river here is a 4th heart. And if Gabe gets to see showdown here, he's going to win it with the 4 of hearts in his hand. And there it is. And again, might we point out that maybe we can raise the blinds up to $100 in the big blind now.
Thank you.
But moves here to C6.
Yeah, if Donna's out there, maybe she can approach it again. Approach Mo about that. I believe there's enough money at this table now we could probably raise the blinds.
Because I don't want to lose Johnny Chan. But moves over here to Barry Woods, seat 6. Pocket jacks here for Sam at seat 8. And Mike here is going to raise it up to 200. And let's see how Sam's going to play jacks. he going to re-raise or just call here in the blind? It is Mike raising, and it looks like he is going to re-raise. And he's going to re-raise.
Re-raise. Make it 600 total.
Make it 600 to go. 400 more to go. Is Mike going to call with the weak ace? He is not going to call with the weak ace. He is out of there.
Yeah, easy. 4-6, I'll call.
You need to flop an ace.
I don't like AC. No matter what you have.
Flop 5, 6, 7 and play pop.
Butt moves over here to seat 7.
I don't mind. I really don't mind if you flop 5.
You can make
Gabe,
4 plus.
Gabe Thaler. Pocket 10s here for seat number 3, Mike Binger. Pocket queens here for Barry
Raise.
Woods.
200 total.
And Binger's going to open raise here to 200. Barry's got 2 ladies over there in seat 6. Jonas. Wow, Jonas is going to re-raise. And what does Jonas have? We need to see his cards. He's got pocket kings. Uh-oh.
Oh, wow. 10s, queens, and kings here. We're going to see fireworks in this hand.
And Johnny Chan has pocket 7s over there. And he's real deep in seat 2. And Barry's going to call. Might this bring Johnny Chan in here with pocket 7s?
Well, the funny thing is if Johnny Chan calls, you know Mike Binger's going to call as well. And we're going to see a 4-way pot, $3,000 before the flop.
Yeah. It looks like Johnny Chan was out. And
But you know, the thing is, Johnny Chan is deep, but his opponents probably aren't deep enough for him to make that call.
Binger makes the call. This pot is quickly almost $3,000. Jonas with kings in the lead.
Oh, there's a 7. Look at that.
Ooh, Johnny would have made top set. 7, 5, 4. And everyone has an overpair.
Well, that's unreal. Johnny Chan, literally.
Is Barry Woods going broke here, Dave?
Johnny might have broken 2 players in this hand.
Yeah.
He might have broken Johnny, and he might have broken Jonas and Barry. And I got to tell you, I don't think Barry gets away from this at all. Not against Jonas.
7, 5, 4 here with 2 diamonds on the flop. And Jonas is going to bet. Wow, look at that, 2,500?
That might be 3,000 even. 2,600.
That's just about the size of the pot. And can Barry Woods get away from this?
Yeah, it's $2,700 into about a $3,000 pot.
Yeah.
Pot is literally right around, what, 5,700.
And again,
2,700 to call.
You wonder if Johnny was in there, if he would have checked it, and maybe he gets a call even from Barry in between, and Johnny would have made a whole lot of money.
Well, that's the whole thing. You might get a bet here from Jonas, a call or a move in from Barry, and now you can call, and then maybe Jonas gets away from it.
And Barry's moving in.
Oh, and Jonas is deep. I mean, Jonas is really deep.
Wow.
Call.
And look at this, Jonas calls. I think he thinks that Barry has a smaller overplayer, and he is right. And this pot is going to be huge. This is going to be about maybe a $10,000 pot.
And even running diamonds aren't going to help Barry here. Yeah. He's in really bad shape. He needs the queen of spades or the queen of clubs.
And I got to tell you, if we can get a shot at Johnny Chan, he must be kicking himself over there when he sees these hands.
Oh, this is insane.
Yeah, unbelievable. They're going to run it 3 times. This pot, again, is about $9,000 or $10,000.
And you wonder there, I mean, Johnny Chan there, to call 700, should have he called? I mean, I hate to question the great Johnny Chan, but maybe he should have called that.
Turns a 4. Barry needs a queen and only a queen. Again, they're going to run it 3 times here. Rivers a 6. Jonas wins the first one. Barry, again, needs a queen to catch up here. Jonas wins the second one. Barry's got 2 outs. It's not looking that good.
I mean, I would have just really been. It would have really. It can catch an 8 or a 3, by the way, to chop it up now.
Yep.
Now,
Rivers 7.
Wow, and quads there on the last one for Johnny Chan.
Yep. Wow.
Now, I hate to question the great Johnny Chan, but let me ask you this: you get a bet, you get an original raiser, right? Then you get a re-raise, and you get a call there with 7s. If you're deep enough, is it worth it?
Yeah, but there's something fishy about that hand. I don't know if we didn't have the cards up right, or maybe Johnny was away from the table. But Binger open raised for 200. Chan wasn't in the hand, and he's to Binger's right, and he would have been in there. So maybe he missed the hand.
I see what you mean here. So maybe he
wasn't in the hand.
Well,
either that, or maybe he had something like 6, 7. Because I caught it in the discards that he had pocket 7s. Yeah, so they might not have had pocket 7s.
Well, Johnny's not cooperating. He's not really putting his cards in the window, and Ronnie's doing his best to try to just sneak him in there. So he might not have had it right. Because you're 100% right there. Obviously, with 7s, he's going to at least limp in.
Right.
Collection pot player?
Again, this is a live show, so sometimes we'll run into that.
Yeah, everybody knows that. Obviously, live, unedited, unscripted.
No doubt.
We are here during the Legends, the main event. This is day 2, by the way. This is actually day 3. Day 1 and day 1A, day 1B combined into day 3, really. I want to say there's only about 170 players left or something like that.
Button moves over here to seat 8.
And
yeah, I think it might be safe to say that maybe Johnny didn't have 7s there.
I might.
Yeah, because you're right. He probably definitely would have limped in.
Yeah, well, I mean, limps in here with ace 3 of clubs.
Right.
You know, Mike is in there with queen jack of clubs. I tell you, if clubs come out, Mike's going broke.
Well, I think that Johnny was in the big blind, and he's going to raise it. He makes it 250. Mike calls, and so does Jonas.
Wow. Raising out of the blind at a hand like ace 3 of clubs. Unreal.
Full ring game, yeah. And we're going to see 4-way action here. And this pot is over $1,000.
Oh, I saw one club come out of the window. I was wow.
Jack 10-7. Mike's got the best hand right now.
I'm not on tilt that much.
And it's going to get checked here over to Mike. Is he going to bet?
And Jonas said, Mike Binger says, I'm not on tilt. How could you be on tilt? You just won $4.1 million like a month ago.
Betting 600.
And Mike's going to bet 600 here. And is Johnny just going to check fold here with the ace?
I tell you, I win $4.1 million. I might never be on tilt again.
Wow, and Allan's going to call.
Well, he's got a pair with a gut shot.
Pair and a gut shot.
He can catch a 9, a 7, or an 8 to win this.
$2,600 to the turn. Turns an 8.
I mean, is there any way Allan could represent King Queen here? Remember, is there any way Allan would do that?
Is Mike?
I mean, if Mike were to bet here and Allan moved all in.
It goes check, Dave, and the river's a deuce.
Well, Mike's trying to keep the pot as small as possible.
Yeah.
And look at this, we're going to get a bet here from Allan.
400.
It's 400, but Mike's going to call. Mike's going to win it there with the jack.
And Allan has really opened up his game right now, I got to tell you.
Yeah, I mean, we almost never would see him bet the hand.
Yeah.
No.
Ooh, I got a vicious paper cut, man. I got to tell you, paper cuts, I hate them. Not a big fan of them.
Poker injuries, man. We live in one of the most dangerous industries out there.
Well, it's funny, you know.
Poker playing industry.
They have the deadliest catch out there. They have nothing on us.
Yeah.
Poker players, we are crazy.
Yeah.
Mike.
The Beepster says they need to clear up the fact that Waseka was first to act and checked. Yeah, on that hand when Waseka had 7 8 of spades, he checked. Binger bet with ace 10 on a 10 high board. Jamie Gold moved in, and then seeing a fold. And again, it was just a big.
I mean, that's
drop.
actually one thing that's really interesting.
Yeah.
You have an open-ended straight flush draw.
I asked him what his plan was for the hand,
Right.
and he said it was an easy check raise all in until he saw the action in front of him.
Okay.
So again, that interview will be up in the near future here at livethebike.com. You had no interest in watching the pay-per-view, huh?
No, God no. No hole cards? What the hell's the point?
Heads up.
I was in Vegas. I could have just gone there and watched it. And I had no interest in doing that either.
Look at this Jonas flops trip threes.
Is Barry gone?
Check. Turns a 9.
150 is the bet.
And Jonas bets 150.
Are we locking up seat 6, keeping it locked up for Barry? Or is he gone?
We're getting word that Cloney Gowan is here now.
And is Barry still in the game?
Oh, Barry's out of there. So I wonder if Cloney's coming into the game.
Then we get Cloney in seat number 6 then.
Larry came back.
Oh, okay.
Mike.
And Barry quickly lost what? How much did Barry quickly lose?
He's playing on.
I'd have 2 big blind, please. 2 big blind.
Maybe he's getting the chips.
And Barry had bought in for $8,000, even with his rebuy, huh?
I don't know.
So apparently Barry lost a quick $8,000 or $10,000, unfortunately for him.
And is Binger getting? No, Binger's moving over to seat 6. Binger's moving over to seat 6.
Binger trying to get in position on maybe Jonas and Mike.
It couldn't be any worse, you know?
Johnny Chan over there in seat 2. There's Cloney Gowan.
Lovely Cloney Gowan.
No, he missed. He's going to have small blind.
Now everybody moved to the left, and now I got your old spot. Now I got something.
Folded around here to Mo on the button.
Raise 200 total.
And Mo's going to raise it up here to 200 with it's like ace 10. Jonas is going to fold an ace 10, the same hand. And Mo takes it down. Again, you can email us at live@bike.com. Questions, comments, suggestions, always appreciated.
Wow, I mean, this is a great show here. Johnny Chan, Gabe Thaler, Mike Binger, and obviously our usual Live at the Bike Fair. We've also got Sam in seat number 8. Sam's a very accomplished poker player. He is very patient, very disciplined.
And I guess Cloney is going to sit down over here in C3. There she is, Cloney
Now,
Allan.
Todd B. wanted a synopsis on the Jamie Gold lawsuit. I'm actually going to just tell you, just go to Google, man, and check it out, because I don't want to bore everybody else with it, because we've been talking about it until, like, no end.
Small blind.
So just check it out. You can probably go to 2+2 and check it out. You can go on Google and just go Jamie Gold lawsuit, and you'll probably get a lot of information, more than we could give you.
Now, Mike is going to raise it up here with King 8 offsuit on the button. Mo's got 4-5 of clubs. And Binger's going to call there at seat 6.
I can't believe Barry left so quick. I've never seen Barry. Barry usually, if he loses 15 or 20,000, he just reloads and keeps firing in there.
Mo's in there with 4-5 of clubs. Wow. Mike's flop 2 pair. King 8-9. And let's see how involved Binger's going to get here. He's got King Queen.
He does have the King of Hearts as well, which can give him a little more ammunition there.
And he's going to come out and bet 700. Mike raised with King 8 and he hit it. Let's see if he pops it up right away. He's got top and bottom here.
Now the problem here, though, is Mike Binger is not that familiar with Corporation Mike, okay?
Yeah.
So King Queen here, your opponent can easily have Ace King, right?
And Mike has announced raise.
And honestly, Corporation Mike should have King Queen here. I mean, I'm sorry, he should have Ace King here.
Or pocket aces, something like that.
Exactly. I mean, Binger, I think it's an easy laydown if you don't know Corporation Mike. Now, you or I or somebody else at the table that knows Corporation Mike might go broke with King Queen.
And he's making it 2,000 more. Now, Binger saw Mike raise him on the come with 10-8 about a half an hour ago. This pot is quickly $4,000, 2,000 here for Mike Binger to call.
Yeah.
And he's got those gray chips there. He's deep. He's about maybe 10,000 deep here.
Oh, yeah, he's deep. He's got a lot. He's got outs, though. I mean, obviously,
Yeah.
you see it here. 69% to 29%. I mean, Binger can catch a 9. He can also catch a queen, obviously. Or running hearts.
Again, about a $4,000 pot. Mike has really made a big pot size raise here. He's made a big raise.
If I wasn't down, I lost my first 5.
Got something there?
If I wasn't down,
Same man, I have
right here, right now.
Yeah.
So let's see what Binger's going to do. Like I said, King Queen easily dominated. At least he doesn't have Ace King here, Dave.
Right, obviously Ace King will be a different story, especially if the Ace of Hearts. I think King Queen, I got to tell you, if you're not that familiar, you look at it and go, well, Mike was the pre-flop raiser, and I bet he raised me. I can't beat aces. I can't beat a set of 9s. I can't beat 8 8s. I can't even beat Ace King.
King Jack, King Queen.
And Mike says to him, King Queen or King Jack.
Really? Everyone gets their money back. Somebody's lying? Everyone gets their money back. Top it up. Next problem.
You know, again, what is Binger's plan here if he makes this call?
Well, it's always one of those spots where obviously Binger's a good player. If you make this call or you make a raise here, you've got to know what you're going to do when the turn comes out, and it doesn't really help your hands. You know, let's say a 5 of spades comes out, what are you going to do?
2,000 more, 4,000 in the pot. And he's out of there. Well, he took his time with it, but he obviously made the right laydown.
Yeah, and I think it's a pretty easy laydown. I really do.
Wow, and the turn's queen. We go rabbit there.
Yeah.
And you always talk
And I got to tell you, even if the queen comes off, I don't like my hand. It's one of the reasons why it's an easy laydown. What happens if Mike is raising on a come with Jack 10?
Well, and, you know, I just think that, you know, the propensity for Mike to sometimes not lay down hands, maybe a hand like as big as, say, 2 pair, you just wonder how that would have played out if they saw the turn, if you made the call on the turn.
Yeah, I mean, you really wonder how hard can you play that hand if you get to catch a queen, though. That's one of those times, though, if I'm in Binger's spot, I got to tell you, especially since he doesn't know Mike very well, I think it's an easy laydown because the queen completes a straight. You don't know if he's raising you with a set of 8s or a set of 9s or aces or ace king. You really have no idea where you're at.
Now, what about people who do know Mike? Would you be in there with King Queen? What would you have done?
That's what I'm saying. It's a different spot. I hate calling raises out of position, and I hate playing Mike out of position. You know, you're in a tough spot there. Cloney, what is he? Bought him how much?
For 10,000.
10,000. Thank you. Sorry.
And it looks like she is sans the Daniel Steele book.
Oh, good. No
This
Daniel
year
Steele
around.
tonight.
Yeah.
Well, she's playing a much smaller game last year.
Small
Yeah.
and big, both have the same. 50.
Oh, okay. Okay, so 100.
We started 1,500.
And
50.
and Mike is going to raise it up here to 250.
More bluff for another hour.
Gabe is going to call with pocket 6s. And we are heads up here. Ace King here. Mike against Gabe Thaler. Mike the pre-flop raiser. Well, there's the ace.
And this will probably go bet. I mean, you assume it'll probably go bet fold.
Mike's going to bet 300, he's in 350, he's in position.
And I tell you, man, you talk about GSN's high stakes poker, or you talk about high stakes poker over in England, the Poker Channel or something. We've got our own version of it here, and it's live, it's unedited, it's unscripted, and you get to see every single hand.
Button moves over here to seat 6 to Bigger.
Unbelievable. We've got over $115,000 on the table, only an hour into the show. I would not be surprised at all if we ended up with 175 or 180.
And Mike Binger getting worried. He's going to buy 10,000 more there.
Yeah, and like I said, I knew this game would start off slow and really pick up.
We've got about 2 hours left in the show.
And once again, I'll point out that probably about halfway through the show, maybe in about a half hour or so, as more money does flood onto the table, we'll probably raise the blinds up.
Pocket Queens here for Cloney and she's going to raise it up here to 250. Now, Allan's got King Jack suited. He voluntarily limped under the gun. Binger's going to call on the button. We need to see his hand in seat 6. And Allan comes in there as well. You need to see Michael Binger's hand in seat 6. It's a $750 pot here.
Oh, he has 10,000 behind.
Yeah, well, I haven't decided. I asked for the chips. I hadn't decided whether I was putting it in play, and I don't know what's up again.
They can't be in play.
Okay, yeah, I just want to make sure.
How much are you playing behind?
I have about 7,000 to start.
Okay,
and apparently Binger's chips do not play on his hand.
Right.
Okay, this play.
8-8-4 here. Nice flop here for Cloney. It's not going to make that much of a difference. She's going to bet. She bets 500. She takes it down. Well, you said last year that, it was a little bit of a small game for her, but she played it real tight. When you talk about someone moving down, they usually donk it up and lose it.
Yeah, I don't know if it was a small game for her or not.
Yeah.
I have no idea. It just was a smaller game.
Right.
I would assume in a game like this where she's buying it for 10,000 and 125 on the table, you're not going to be reading a book.
Right.
Wow, what a game. We got Johnny Chan, Cloney Gowan, Mike Binger, Gabe Thaler.
I call it.
Yeah, and then after April.
And again, you'll see a lot of Mike Binger coming up in the next few weeks, obviously, on ESPN. I don't know exactly how many episodes the main event is. I know that they didn't even cover all of the day ones last week. Because I'm still looking for Lynette Chan, who supposedly got coverage. And Dr. Beebe. Our own Dr. Beebe was on the feature table.
Yeah. It's funny, with editing, you just don't see that many hands.
Yeah.
So they also jump around. They go, let's go see what's over here. So they might only show 3 hands from the featured table.
Yeah. Now, Mike Binger has raised it up here with 3-5 offsuit. Sam is called with 4-5 of hearts. And Allan's in there with King 9. $750 pot to the flop. Ace 9-7. Let's see if Binger, if he follows through here with the ace, he should take this one down.
Probably, you never know. Allan likes to take one off with a 9 here.
That's true.
Hearts.
He does have middle pair.
Middle hearts, backdoor heart draw.
Here also.
He's going to bet 500 here, about a 2/3 pot size bet. Yeah, and you're right. It looks like Allan is. I didn't notice at first that Allan did have a piece of this.
And he's going to call this, and the pot is quickly, about $1,800?
$1,800 to the turn. Turn's a queen.
And Binger is drawing dead, by the way, but can he put the heat on Allan and get Allan off the... Now, right now, this is the kind of spot where Allan would take off 1, and if you knew Allan only had a 9 or 7 or 10-8 or something like that, you could bet big and get him off the hand.
I'm telling you, if I'm against Allan and I have nothing here, I bet here knowing Allan again, hope he has a 9 and he's going to fold when a queen comes out. Or maybe he has 8-10, he's on a draw. You make this bet, and then if he calls again, I think you just give up. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and that's pretty much Mike. That's pretty much Allan's, MO.
Binger showed the bluff there.
Yeah, he'll take one off.
Right.
See if he can get lucky and catch a 9 or king, and then we'll throw it away.
Button moves over here to 8.
Now, valuable lesson here, if you start looking at the way Allan plays, obviously, you and I know Allan like the back of our hand, right?
Right.
We can play against him without even looking at our own cards. But having known that, there's a new Allan now. And if we were to just basically take for granted that he's still only playing like the same old Allan, we probably would get bluffed out of a few pots here and there.
Yeah.
And that's sometimes you got to figure that out against, obviously, when you're playing against players. Maybe you haven't seen somebody play in 6 months and you just assume that he's still a donkey. You have to realize that this guy's been playing for the last 6 months. He might be a lot better than he used to be.
And here comes Corporation Mike. He's got pocket kings. He's going to make it 250. That seems to be the standard raise so far here, 5 times the blind. Now, if we were playing it would play much bigger, because if we were at 5,100, it would probably be 500, the other raise.
Now, Binger's going to call with a dominated hand here. He's got King Jack here.
Yeah.
If he hits 2 pair or some sort of cold deck flop like that, he's in trouble.
Well, there's the ace. That's not a good flop for Mike. But again, you wonder how involved Binger would have got if it came out Jack high or Jack with rags. Mike bets 400. Shows kings. Takes it down. And the button moves over here to Allan. Johnny Chan is back on the table. And here we go. We're rounded off the table. We've got 4 pretty big names right now in the poker world on the table. Johnny Chan over there in seat 2. Cloney Gowan in seat 3. We've got Michael Binger in seat 6. We've got Gabe Thaler in seat 7. Along with some of the Live the Bike favorites, Corporation Mike in seat 4. We did have Barry Woods in this game. We've got Allan and Mo and Sam in seat 8.
Johnny Chan, obviously, you can check out his website, chanpoker.net. I think it launches in October.
Deja vu. Mike's got pocket kings again, but this time he only chooses to limp here. I don't know who he's trying to trap to his left there. Maybe Jonas, but I don't think he's going to get the raise.
Yeah, the odd thing about the players, you just raised.
Why not just keep raising? Right.
Exactly, because nobody's going to give you credit the second time. If you get kings the third time, raise again, because they won't give you credit for it.
5-way action here, limped around. Mike did not get that limp re-raise in. 7-5 deuce with a couple clubs.
Now, is Mo going to get involved? Mo's got top pair.
Well, he checked it. Mike bets 250.
Now, Jonas, okay, there you go. Mo just throws it away.
You wonder if Mo might be slightly a little bit uncomfortable with this game, too. The size of this game, the stakes in this game.
Well, you wonder. I mean, he bought in short. He lost a quick 5,000. Tried to gamble it up a little bit. Obviously, Mo doesn't want to lose quick 20,000. Remember, he also just put in $10,000 for the main event and lost that also.
Right.
And apparently, I know he did win that seat, but he also backs a lot of players as well. I think he had 3 horses in the tournament as well. How did Philly Al obviously out of the tournament already?
Didn't make it through day 1.
What a surprise.
Man, just no love, huh?
He does great in those small little tournaments against really bad players.
Live style here by Corporation Mike. And Mo's going to raise it to 300 here on the button. King, Queen, and Diamond.
Personally, I got to tell you,
Cloney easily fold to Ace 10, as well as Johnny, who folded Ace 9 easily.
Yeah. And Allan might call this, though.
And he does. And
normally Ace 7 is a favorite over King, Queen, but with 2 aces dead, I'm not sure. There's the King.
King 4-8.
I mean, I personally, instead of backing Philly Al, I would sooner back Ron. I would back Ronnie first. Seriously, I think Ronnie's a good player. Ronnie, our media champion and legends.
So are you saying I should cash out or let it ride to Heavenly Hold'em?
If it's just Philly Al, I would cash out.
Really? Even to Heavenly Hold'em, where all those buy-ins are pretty smallish.
Yeah, you can do it. I just don't think he's a winning player in the long run. But hey, what do I know?
Still, I'm telling you, I enjoy this.
Mo's a lucky guy, though. Mo seems to always know.
That's what I mean. That's why I trusted Mo.
Yeah, should be a shot.
Mike, you wouldn't, Jonas? Yeah, you were there.
Cloney with a couple of ducks.
Yeah, you were there.
Well, you remember the other reason why I invested in that corporation was because I kind of, it wasn't conditioned, but I kind of said to Mo, "Will you guys back me into Omaha?" Because I wanted to play in the $10,000 worth of Omaha bets. I didn't want to put up $10,000 for a tournament.
But you ended up putting $10,000 up anyway.
I did. I ended up putting $10,000 up anyways. More than that, actually. Yeah.
We had a raise here from Binger at $200. Cloney does not call out of the blind with pocket deuces.
I ended up putting $6,500 up plus $5,000. That was not a good month for me.
Well, that's like, a lot of people from the World Series. It's either a really, really good month or a really, really bad month.
Yeah.
And for most people, it's a really bad month.
I said I do it. I didn't think they had to. In fact, no one actually bid enough on it to make sure that they did it.
Button moves over here to Cloney. And Johnny Chan's got pocket 10s here.
I want to point out to anybody, if you want to play in a charity to help out Paul Hannum from the World Poker Tour and his fiancée, an unborn child, you can play in a charity event tomorrow at 7 p.m. It's $1,000. And it'll be here at the Bus Casino.
Let's see if Sam overcalls. He limped in. He's got ace 10 of clubs. He's in kind of early-ish position. Will he play this hand for a flush? Johnny Chan raised it. might call with pocket fives. And again, Binger in there with that king jack out of position.
Nothing wrong with being in there with that hand if you can get away from it with a king or jack flops. And we saw earlier at king queen, he had no problem getting rid of it.
See how tight Sam is here. He's going to call.
Well, this is a hand where you can flop the nuts. That's one thing you like about it.
So here we go, $1,200 pot. Johnny Chan, the pre-flop raiser.
Wow, big flop raise, 10 of clubs.
Wow, king, queen, 4. Nut flush draw for Sam with a gut shot to the jack, and Binger's got top pair. You can see Sam's a favorite over the field here.
Yeah, he's a big hand here.
And he does not bet, and Chan takes the card. 2 overs. The turn's of 4.
Mike Binger,
let's see if
still
Binger's
in the lead.
Come out and bet. Wow, he checked it again. Binger checked the king jack again.
He wants to keep this pot as small as possible, obviously.
And now Sam's going to come out and bet.
Kind of a smallish bet, though. 900 into what, about
$1,200 pot.
That's not that bad, actually. $2,100 pot now, 900 to call. Johnny throws away the 10s. Corporation Mike's probably going to throw away his 5s. And puts Binger in a tough spot here.
Binger, do you think you're almost forced to check call here? Because would Sam maybe throw a bet out on a queen when it got checked to him twice?
The problem is, you never know, though, because remember, they're all checking to the razor.
Well, the river's a 9. And is Sam going to bluff at it here?
I mean, let me ask you, if Sam had flopped top 2, might he have checked it to Johnny Chan anyway?
This is a $3,000 pot, and let's see how much Sam is going to bet here. He's going to bet half the pot here. Well, and Binger's looking at because Binger's king doesn't play here, Dave. Look at that with the paired board. It's jack, yeah. But he's gonna make the call. And Binger's going to take it down there with kings and 4s for the queen kicker.
Yeah, and Binger doesn't like the play. He doesn't like the call there. Especially, I mean, it's not a bad bet by Sam. He almost bets it like looking for a call, doesn't he?
Well, I mean,
you wonder if he bets 2,500.
Yeah, I was going to say, maybe you got to take advantage of that spot there and bet it like, we're chopping it, but I'm going to make you pay for the chop just in case I might have ace-king here or king-queen. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If you bet more there, make it look like, you're trying to bet the guy off a chop.
Although I don't buy that. I don't buy betting him off a chop. Because remember, Sam's played really tight. Would he be in there with king-10?
Right.
Well, you know what I mean?
He might have been in there with king-queen intending to check raise.
Exactly, and king-queen plays.
Right. Wow, pocket aces over here for Gabe Thaler.
Mike, last week,
and Gabe just limped in, Dave. He limped in on Corporation Mike's button, but did not get the raise.
Amazing, too. Normally you get that raise there from Corporation.
Deuce, 4 deuce here. Well, let's see how Gabe is going to proceed. Now, Jonas is just going to come out and bet with queen jack. Now, Jonas and Gabe know each other pretty well. Gabe is just going to call.
No urgent reason to raise there.
Turns at 3.
Then Jonas is drawing dead.
Check. Gabe's trying to keep this pot a little small. And the river is an ace. Wow. And Gabe makes aces full. And too bad that Jonas didn't have a 5 there.
Yeah. Too bad Jonas didn't have a deuce there.
5-4. Something like that.
Yeah.
Or how about queen jack of spades?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That would have been a good one, too. Although Jonas is pretty smart. I mean, he's not gonna. He might actually bet 500, get raised, and just call, and that's it.
Take a big blind?
Or he might even just check call. You never know the way Jonas is playing lately.
So you take a big blind?
Did you check out Maxim's Cloney's pictorial in the latest Maxim?
I didn't. Was it good?
Yeah, she looked actually really good.
Yeah. Well, remember she had almost been getting private lessons from Barry Greenstein, what was it, last year? And she had her tournament record went up during that period,
I'm sure.
extremely.
Yeah, I'd like to subscribe. Where can I get Barry Greenstein private lessons?
Cloney raises it with ace-7 of diamonds, and she's going to take it down. We do have him from Kenna, remember?
No, that's great.
We have an exercise.
Not the slight Kenna James, but hey, I want Barry's too.
Cloney, of course.
By the way, we don't have them. It's my lessons. You can come, though, and have brats with us.
Okay.
I got to work on my game, man.
Oh, I don't get to stay in the room when you guys are doing the tournament.
You can. No, you sit there. You can put in your 2 cents if you want.
What moves here to seat 6? Sam's got king jack suited in seat 8.
I'm not going to finish.
Binger's going to fold.
And I believe they chop it up. No, they don't. Okay.
No. Well, look at this. Now, Gabe checked ace-6 of hearts. Sam raised, and Gabe was just out of there.
I mean, you can see how Gabe just doesn't really want to play out of position.
Gabe really likes to go with that kind of shirt and towel over the shoulder look like he's a fighter, doesn't he? Have you ever gone with that look?
The shirt over the... generally speaking, if I'm at the gym, I might, wear the shirt and towel. If I'm going for a run, maybe. Not usually at the poker table, though.
No.
Johnny going to limp in here at 5s, pretty much confirming the fact that he did not have 7s earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. You guys are...
Cloney's going to limp in with ace-king. Mike's going to limp in here. And we're going to see this pot. Wow, what is
1,
it?
2, 3,
7
4,
ways.
5, 6, 7 ways here. It's a $350 pot to the flop. Queen, deuce 6 with a couple of diamonds here. It doesn't look like there's much. Jonas has got queen 9.
Yeah, Jonas with the best hand here. And he is in the cutoff seat, so it makes it a pretty easy spot to raise from. I mean, to bet from.
350.
He bets 350.
That's the pot. And I don't see anybody calling here. I mean, nobody's got diamonds. And you look at the way Cloney plays here. Obviously, she knows what she's doing. If she's going to play ace-king slow pre-flop, I imagine she's going to lay it down here. And sure enough, she does. It's an easy check fold there with ace-king.
It's interesting to note that Gabe limped in there on the button with the ace rag. Mike is not going to...
But threw away ace-6 suited the hand before out of position.
Well, what I was going to say is, the more and more I play, I often will limp in either in the cutoff or on the button with either with a suited ace rag or sometimes even a non-suited ace rag. And it is amazing how much money I have made from that position when I flop aces up. In an unraised pot, guys that just pay you off with ace-jack the whole way.
It was interesting. We had a hand the other night. Actually, yesterday we had a hand before you went over to the 5-10 game, the 10-20 game, where I pretty much knew what you had. I even said it as I was tossing it. The river bet, the river came out of 6. Both of us flopped an ace. I had a bigger ace than you, of course.
And you checked the flop. Did you check the flop?
I did. I tried to keep the pot small because I didn't have a big ace.
Yeah.
I had kind of a middle kicker.
Yeah.
And I checked it to you, and I had a feeling you'd bet it. And then when another player called, I didn't think he had much.
Yeah.
And then I was going to bet the turn, and I was like, you know what? I'll keep this pot nice and small. And I almost led into you.
Uh-huh.
And I said, okay, I'll check it. When you check behind me, I was pretty much sure that you either had a really weak ace or nothing at all.
Right.
And then when the 6 came on the river and it checked over to you, I was like, oh man, what do you have ace-6? I mean, exactly. I said, you must have ace-6 here.
But yet you called anyway.
I called where there was a straight draw and a flush draw out there, and I thought you were, I thought you would bluff at it maybe 40% of the time.
Yeah.
Thought the price was right to call you. But I did say, I said, what do you have, ace-6? And of course you showed me ace-6.
It's a tough call for me if you lead into the turn. I don't remember what the turn was, if it made sense that it completed some sort of draw.
No, but you know I would play ace-jack or ace-10 like that. You know I would check call and then lead into it.
Yes. I don't know if you would check call and limp pot ace-jack with board of ace-5-3 from mid-position. You check ace-jack.
I might. It's a kind of a new play in my game where I try to keep that pot a little bit small, see what everybody does. Because remember, what I like to see is if you bet, I can see what the players in early position do as well. And if they check raise big, I can get away from it without even losing any money.
Now look at this. Gabe Dealer's raised it up to 300 with 9-8 suited. Mike's got deuce 3 offsuit, and Cloney's got ace-king here again in the small blind.
And obviously, it's over to Cloney here, and she's thinking, do I want to re-raise her or just call? And she's just going to call this.
Now she definitely is playing this like a drawing hand, and Mike is in there with deuce 3. So
$900 pot.
Yeah, $900 three ways. Gabe the pre-flop raiser.
And, everybody's live.
Jack 3-6. Well, Mike's hit the best hand. Now, is Gabe going to make a continuation bet here?
I think you're pretty underneath.
Well, this is the question here is, can Mike really stay in there with deuce 3?
It's 7.
Gabe bets 700.
And it's an easy laydown for Cloney again, really. I mean, she plays ace-king slow pre-flop. You miss it, you throw it away. Nothing wrong with that.
Well, Mike often likes to take one off here, Dave, to hit 2 pair of trips, even though he doesn't necessarily know if it's good or not.
Right.
Let's see if Gabe picks up some sort of draw if he takes the card here on the turn.
Wow.
Now,
How about some sort of draw?
Well,
how about a monster draw?
Now can you really make a big semi-bluff? I mean, that's the best card you can pick up in the deck.
Well, this is a question now. This is always a good thing.
Yeah.
You don't want to bet here and then get raised off your draw. But once again, here, if you put heat on your opponent probably can't call you.
Yeah.
And I was really curious to see how Gabe was going to play that, because we always talk about that. Is that a play where you want to take the free card, or is that a play where you want to put your heat on your opponent here if he's got, say, a weak jack, or even, say, in this case, a 3?
You know, I more lean towards you can bet that as a big semi-bluff.
As can also represent 4-5, by the way.
Yeah. As opposed to maybe an offsuit 7 coming where you might take a card. But here you have so many outs.
Well, if you get raised here, your draw is big enough where you actually could probably push back. But look at this. With one card to come, he's actually 50-50.
Well, he's got 2 overs, an open-ended straight draw, and a flush draw.
Yeah, I mean, this is a pretty easy laydown for Mike, I got to tell you. Because if you call this, you got to be prepared to pay another, and he's going to throw it away. If you call this, what are you going to call $2,500 in the river with a 3?
Right, that is one of those unique times. The only other time that you can actually, in the river would have been an 8, so Gabe would have got there. You know, the only other time that you're actually can be more of a favorite there with one card to come is if that board is paired.
Right.
And Mike has, say, something like pocket deuces, and you've got the open-ended straight draw with the flush draw with overs, and the board is paired.
Right, exactly.
So you can pick up counterfeit cards that you beat your opponent as well.
I always find that a really interesting play, though. When you pick up that draw, what do you do?
Right.
Place them like that.
Now, if you had a pair with the draw, you might take the card because your hand is big enough maybe to win in a showdown. But in that case, he knows 9 high is not big enough. He's got to actually bet his opponent off of it. Nice play by Gabe there.
Well, Allan's got ace-king.
And he limps in. He limps in the cutoff seat with ace-king. I got to tell you, man. Why would you not raise that up? Just for value in the cutoff seat.
Good boy, Mike.
Apparently, Surfing Illini is back on board. Good to see him. And is he back from Vegas?
Well, look at this. Cloney is bet here with the queen. Mike calls with king 5, and Allan's going to raise with ace king.
Yeah,
so is Mike going to get involved here? Remember, Allan's been showing down bluffs.
Yeah, and it's a pretty easy laydown, but Allan rarely bluffs in the first spot. In this case here, you know, it's one thing if you've got... Allan might think king 10 is good, but king 5, how can king 5, and certainly queen 4 can't be good.
But Mike is going to call.
Well, this is the only thing is, if a 5...
Well, wait a minute. Mike re-raised, Dave. And Allan quickly called. He re-raised $300. And this pot is $2,000. Remember, it was limped around pre-flop. Oh, the turn's a 5, and Mike makes kings up.
Now, it is a third club out there, and does that scare Mike? Well, he's going to lead right into Allan here.
Yeah, but remember, Allan still never raises on the come. I don't put him on a flush draw.
Probably not.
Yeah.
More likely he has a big ace. He might even have 2 pair himself.
Or a big
you
king,
never know.
Big king.
The big king, thank you.
And Mike bets 800, and Allan calls again here. And again, we get about $3,500
Allan
pot.
needs an 8, a queen, or an ace here.
Here we go to the river. The river's a 7.
Oh, wow.
It's a fourth club. Wow.
Fourth club here, and I got to tell you, this is really a tough spot here. Because remember, you don't really want to bluff Allan, because if Allan has the ace, obviously, wow.
I don't know about the value of that bet there.
Oh, I hate the bet in the river.
Yeah.
I hate the bet in the river.
I really do not like that.
I mean, obviously, we do this live. We're just doing the thing. But if you leave that board up just for 1 second, Allan is representing like he has a big king, right? Ace king, king jack, king 10. If Allan has the 10 of clubs, the jack of clubs, or the ace of clubs, he's going to call you. There's no way he's throwing that away, right?
Yeah.
No chance in hell. I just don't. But Allan's not going to call you with ace king there. I don't like the play at all. Thank you very much, Mike.
I mean, does Allan call with king jack with the jack of clubs?
Yes,
probably.
guaranteed.
Right.
He calls you with king 10 with the 10 of clubs.
Right.
Guaranteed. Not even a question.
Well, Gabe has raised it up here with 6-4 of diamonds. Remember, last week he raised it with 6-4 of clubs and flopped a flush.
Yeah, and he's raising from early position with 6-4 of diamonds, kind of mixing up his play a little bit. The thing about that is normally you'd think somebody raising in early position, they must have a big hand. Normally somebody would raise in late position with a hand like 6-4 diamonds. But he buys himself the button. He buys himself the button by raising in early position. Nobody wants to get involved with him.
Well, jack 3-6 here. Gabe's got a pair. Now Mike's got a draw, and Mike's going to bet his gut shot. Backdoor spades, gut shot here to the 4.
Yeah, well, Gabe would have to make 2 pair here for Mike to be good.
I think Gabe is starting to get savvy that Mike might be a little bit of a lackey player here. This doesn't mean that he has a jack when he bets here.
Of course not.
Yeah.
A lot of hands Mike could be betting here. Mike could have 4-5. Mike could have ace-3.
Gabe's just not even going to get involved.
Well, he's got second pair, but he's got no redraw whatsoever.
5-7?
Yes, sir.
4 spades.
And I think that we're going to see a chip count here. Here we go. $115,000 on the table here.
I thought Binger rebought for another $10,000.
I think he did. Let's see what we go.
Okay.
Oh, but he put
he
5,000
put 5 in his pocket. There we go. Okay.
Nice.
115 on the table. Let's see how they're doing. Jonas up 6 now. Mike up 4. Gabe up 3. Johnny Chan up 2. And we got Binger and
Looks
Mo.
like Johnny's getting up. Yeah. And that was what I was afraid of. I was wondering if we could move this up to 5,100, but it doesn't seem like that. I don't know if it's Mo who's saying that he doesn't want to. It might be him,
Raise, make it 2.
Yeah, I worried a little bit the game might be a little small for Johnny Chan.
Yeah. And Mike is going to raise it up here with 10-4 clubs. Binger calls here with King 9, and we are heads up.
And apparently we're getting Barry Woods back in the game.
9-8-5 with a couple spades.
And he's going to buy in for $10,000 after taking a little bit of a break
Wow, look
here.
at that. Mike Binger gave Mike a card, and Mike hits a pair of 10s on the turn. And Binger now bets, but Mike's in the lead. Corporation Mike, that is.
Yeah. Binger's going to need a 9 or a king here.
One way or the other.
And Mike's going to raise him, kind of maybe like a little bit of a limit play, Dave. He's going to min-raise the turn here. Maybe a raise here and a check on the river.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if you did that as well. Obviously, 10-4 can't beat much.
Wow. River's a 6 now.
One-liner to a straight out there. Hard to put anybody on 7 here, though. But yeah, sure enough, Mike is going to check it down here. And that really is a good limit hold'em play. Yep. You and I used to employ when we played limit hold'em. And it can still work in a no-limit game. Now, Barry Woods is going to buy in the game for $10,000. I believe he's already down 8 or 10. So he's in the game for about 20. And obviously we'll keep track of him throughout the night.
130 total?
Oh, that's where in New York. Alaska. No, it wasn't Alaska. He's there. I mean, he's not here. He's going to come back.
Yeah.
Again, we got white chips are hundreds, pinks are 50s.
It's funny now, we talk about level of play. I played 20-40 the other night, obviously. Patrick was in the game. Corporation Mike was in the game. Now, I would play 25-50. Now, 50-50 I actually would not. I'm trying to think that probably would be the next level I'd want to play.
Right, but you wouldn't jump into 5,100.
No, 5,100 at the game. The lineup would have to be insane, and I'd probably want to get somebody to maybe come with me.
Right. Maybe because you'd want to buy in for probably 10,000, right?
Right. Now in a 50-50 game, though, you could probably buy in for the same 10.
Yeah.
Have plenty of play though, because it's only $100 a round. It's actually not bad at all. You compare that to a 20-40 game where like a Corporation Mike's in the game and he's straddling anyway. It becomes almost just as big. Now, I'm not sure if this game actually would be a great game to get involved if you look at it. I mean, obviously, Binger, Gabe Thaler, Sam, Mo, Cloney Gowan. I mean, this is not an easy game at all.
Of course. And I was whatever time. It's an optional.
Limped around here. 5-5-3. Well, Mo's got the best hand here with pocket 4s. See if he bets it there. He's going to bet. Now, Mike's got a pair of 3s. And Mike is going to call. Mike calls.
It's actually a pretty ugly flop for Mike here. I mean, a deuce is no good.
No. He's got backdoor diamond, some sort of straight possibility. Actually, but the straight possibility is no good because Mo would fill up.
Yeah.
Ooh, and the turn's 3, and Mike outturns Mike. Mo.
But even, I mean, you can't even play the hand hard here.
Check call here by Mo. And the river's a king.
Wow, it's a third club as well. If somebody was in there with a club draw.
Well, I'm really surprised.
Oh, actually, I'm sorry. It's double paired board. Who cares about the club?
Yeah, and Mike is going to bet here again, and Mo calls.
Mo calls him the whole way there.
Yeah.
And I guess that's the reason. Normally, you wonder why do you even take one off with deuce 3, but if Mo is going to pay you off, why not?
Well, Dave, you saw a hand that I played against Mo where I flopped the nut straight, and Mo kind of min-check raised me. This was in a 1,000 game, 2 or 3 days ago.
Right.
We were both about 4,000 deep. I bet 100. He made it 300. I moved in for 4,000 right away. A lot of people were looking at me like, what are you doing? It's because it's Mo, right? I was kind of playing the player. Sometimes Mo has... I don't know if Mo would have laid a set of 9s down.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, Mo just normally... Mo's a great player, makes a good living playing poker, but he has a tendency to not believe people when they play things hard.
Right.
Not believe people would ever play a hand really hard.
Right.
They'd say, no, you want to call. Why would you move so fast?
Right.
So against somebody like that, why not move in?
Right. Jonas is going to raise it up here to 200, 250. King Jack offsuit Finger's going to come in there. Seat 6.
Interesting post here from Man Priest. I'll read it in a second.
And Cloney's going to come in there with that little suited connector.
But why not? 6-7 of diamonds. That's the kind of hand that you like in a no-limit cash game.
$1,000 pot 4 ways.
4 ways.
Queen 4 Jack Rainbow. Jonas has got the goods here. He used the pre-flop racer with King Jack, and he has the best hand by far.
Melon.
Now, when it gets checked to Jonas in the cutoff seat, might you put some money in there with second pair?
Well, Jonas checked it, and Binger's going to bet. Well, this might be one of those cases, like you said. Sometimes you said you check a kind of a marginal ace in a limp spot, maybe to see what everybody does in front.
Well, that's
of
the thing, exactly.
Yeah.
If Binger bets that, and then Cloney raises, check
or
raises,
calls,
you can throw it away.
Or even if Cloney calls, you might be able to throw it away.
But now you probably lead right into it. Now I was going to say I would probably lead into it even if the king hadn't fallen.
Well, Jonas checks again. Well, he might think that Binger has absolutely nothing, which right now Binger has absolutely nothing.
C1 has a name down.
Binger can catch a 10 here to win the pot, though.
Yeah, Binger has picked up a draw, though. It is a weak draw. But what the hell did Jonas check call with?
Well, he could have called you with king 10, and in that case, the king is there.
And the river's a jack, and Jonas fills up.
Yeah. And at this point, you might, if you think your opponent has nothing,
I was going to say, if
check
Jonas
again.
is crafty and he really thinks Binger had absolutely nothing on the flop, we always talk about, well, how do you check this river? Would this be a time when you check the river?
Yeah, you might want to, and you can show everybody that you would check a monster.
Right.
Obviously we're not proponents to doing that, and it's not a big fan of it. Nothing wrong with betting here. But if you think your opponent has nothing, you might make this play. Unless you think, actually, your opponent has a jack here. You know what I mean? Maybe he bet a jack on the flop like jack 10, and now he's got trips.
Well, let me throw something else at you, Dave. Jonas bets 2,000 here. Might you want to make what looks like a stop bet on the river, a weak, say, $600 bet into about a $2,800 pot, and get Binger or somebody like Corporation Mike to raise you with nothing?
You might, exactly. Now, obviously, once you bet 2,000, you put yourself in a position where you don't give the guy enough room to make a move on him. Obviously, it's much easier for us. We can see the cards and we know what's going on. But that might have been the way. Now, I got to tell you, with King Jack there, if the king doesn't fall on the turn, I probably lead into the guy, though. See if I'm any good.
Oh, look at that. It's Dan Harrington.
Action Dan there.
Wow,
Dan the
that'd be
man.
great if we could get him into the game. Did you see that?
Some Asian girl giving you the peace sign?
Give me the peace sign.
Peace out, man. There you go.
Oh, Mo's buying in for 10,000 more here.
Wow. And this game is quickly getting really, really big here. Now, obviously, Johnny Chan took his 30,000 off the table, but there's still a lot of money on his table now.
Limped around here, King, 8 with a couple of spades.
Bet 2.
Allan with an 8.
Mike's going to bet 2,000 here.
And is Allan even... Allan's,
200.
And look at that. Allan's not even going to get involved. He just throws it away. Nothing wrong with that at all. You've got an 8 with no kicker, no
Why did
spade.
he complete in the small blind, though? We always ask that question.
Yeah. Well, maybe he thinks, well, maybe I get lucky. Maybe the flop comes out deuce, 8.
Yeah, well, I mean, but the point is that the flop's not big enough for you to...
Again, you can email us at live@bike.com. We had an email question. Are we going to keep the stream on? This is from Jason Whitmore after the show concludes tonight. We are.
Oh, yeah.
We are going to keep it through the end of August. We're going to keep it on.
The stream is going to stay on through the end of August?
Nice try, though.
Amazing. That's great.
And here's another comment, Dave. The chip leader, this is an email from David Steffens. The chip leader in Legends right now is Javid.
I told you.
340,000 chips. Javid.
It's unbelievable. The first
Live
thing,
at the bike, semi-regular.
the saddest thing is I saw Scott Huff, and I bump into Scott, and I'm going, God, if there's any proof that winning tournaments really means nothing, I'm like, look at some of the guys that have a lot of chips.
Yeah.
Our own Amir has tons of
Frank
chips.
Mariani amongst the leaders.
With 100K.
We had a raise here, pre-flop, by Barry with ace-jack, and it comes out rags.
But Cloney Cowan is out. Mike Binger is out.
Yep.
Gabe Thaler out.
250.
Barry's going to bet 250 here, and that should be enough to do it.
Well, what impressed me today is someone told me...
Got an email here from Barry McCollum saying it's great to see that these past 2 weeks you guys have had some of the best shows you've ever had. Thank you very much.
Thank you, everybody.
And throughout this week and towards next week, remember, I think we have Vanessa Russo and I believe Genocide on Monday.
Yes.
And then Evelyn Ing might stop by as well as maybe we'll work Lynette in there as well.
Right. Sort of Lynette Chan there.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll step out for a little while. Leave you and Lynette in here.
Hey.
My roommate's from Boston. She was not.
We had a good post on 2+2, by the way. I wanted to read this here. This was, where was it here? Read this here.
Yeah, I'd much rather live with a Red Sox fan than the Yankees.
Here, Manpriest says, I don't see how anyone can ever complain about the price of subscription ever again after the last couple of weeks.
A couple years ago, I had some empathy.
Thank you very much, Manpriest. Appreciate it. Yeah, we've obviously been putting in a lot of extra hours, and we hope you guys are enjoying it.
I raised with that hand earlier.
I never liked the White Sox.
I raised with these three. And I bet everybody.
Oh. Now,
Bobby
baby.
Airy.
Button moves over here to
What's
see
up?
you.
What do you got going
You
down?
playing Chinese poker there?
Chinese
Playing Chinese poker?
$1,000 conditional.
Make it 200.
Binger's going to raise it up here to 200.
Ooh, pocket kings
Pocket
here for
Kings
Mike
for
again.
Corporation Mike. Binger
He's had
made
it 3 times in an hour and a half.
Binger raised it with ace 10 of diamonds. Allan calls with ace 9. Let's see what Mike's going to do with kings in the small blind. He just calls. Does not re-raise. And you wonder if he's almost getting too many big hands. Wow, and there's the ace. Well, Binger's got Allan out-flopped right now. Out-kicked. Ace 8-3.
I don't understand. I swear I don't understand Mike's play at all.
Yeah, why you make it look like you're lacking in re-raise there? It doesn't make any sense.
And I mean, it's different strokes for different folks. But I mean, with Mike's play, why not raise? I just don't get it.
Well, Mike B is well in the lead here, out-kicking Allan. Turns a jack, but now this is a thing here with ace 10. You bet you get called. Now it turns a jack. What the hell can you beat with ace 10 now?
Oh man, it's real tough.
I mean, that flop is not draw heavy, but he's going to continue to bet.
Well, maybe put pressure on an ace queen because the ace queen looking at an ace queen beat.
And Allan called once again. This pause quickly, $3,000, and the river's a 9, and Allan makes aces up.
Yeah, but Mike B makes it straight.
Wow.
Doesn't he?
No, there's no straight out there. He
there
checks.
isn't. Okay, sorry. I thought there was a straight for a second.
And Allan's going to bet for value here. And what can ace 10 beat? Look at the cards.
Yeah.
Not ace 8, not ace 9, not ace jack, not ace queen, not ace king. Only ace 7, right?
Yeah. This is pretty much it. You got to start looking at it. Obviously, for some reason, I thought he had a gut shot. I thought both players had a gut shot, and I was wrong. And
He's out of there.
He throws it away. You know, he fired 2 bullets, didn't work. Okay. I guess my hand's no good.
I'll go out with you.
It was better years ago.
Good. I lived in trying to be sneaky with 2 kings, you know. And they both
Well,
had
Mike
an
said he
ace.
limped in trying to be sneaky, but I don't know. That was always the criticism that I had of Mike, say, almost a year ago, Dave, that he slow played his big hands, which just didn't make any sense for his style of play, right? I mean, he was almost betting his bluffs and slow playing his big hands so that when you knew he was betting, he had nothing. At least he changed it up. But now he's been kind of reverting back to it a little bit. And Gabe Taylor's got pocket queens. And Mike has ace jack. And Binger has ace king.
And, you know, there's nothing wrong with mixing up your play once in a while and kind of doing it. We've seen it now. He's had kings 3 times, and he's limped in twice.
And Barry's got king 10 of hearts. He might call. Now, Binger, very good tournament player. Is there a possibility that he might re-raise here out of the small blind? He hasn't really done anything out of line.
Yeah, I mean,
he hasn't been like tournament donkish.
I wouldn't call him a tournament player at all. I'd call him a player.
Right. No, but I'm saying a lot of these guys in tournaments, it would be, you know, a big re-raise here with this dead money.
I think he's just a player, though, at this point. From what we've seen. So he might even lay this down.
Back over to Binger. Well, I don't think he's going to lay his king down here.
And he's going to re-raise it, it looks like. No, just call.
Yeah, he's going to re-raise.
Is that what you said? 1,000.
Makes it 1,000. And he's
1,000 more.
Yeah, 1,000 more. And he's got, you know, he has about 10,000 there. Or
by the way, the
more
pot is $2,000, 1,000 to call here. Barry folded out of turn.
Oh, okay. It's a big secret now.
Now let's see what Gabe.
Sit back. I might change it.
I'm sorry. My bad.
That'd be the ultimate angle shot.
You know, if Gabe knows Mike Binger, like he said he did, you know, maybe he's got a range of what would Mike Binger raise here with. Would he do it with ace jack trying to pick up dead money if he's that type of player?
Well, that's the thing. You don't put Barry Woods on a hand. Well, there's Jack 10 out there. Well, now the problem with it is you can't beat jacks, you can't beat 10s, you can't beat kings, and you can't beat aces. Tough spot for queens, really is.
Jack 3-10 with a couple spades.
Now Binger's out of position. The pot is $3,000. How do you play this here? And he looks like he's going to bet.
I got to tell you, I wouldn't be surprised if Gabe just folds. Because just like you said, that is a really awful board for 2 queens here.
16. It's a tough spot.
Yeah.
It really is. But then again, is it a bad board for aces or kings, too? Can you represent? Think about it. What would he raise with? And remember, Gabe raised in first position and then smooth called you. What is Gabe representing here? Now, obviously, Binger could have a whole range of hands. You don't put Barry Woods on anything.
And I think that Gabe's going to lay it down. He did.
Yeah.
And I always, sometimes I talk to people on the table, if we leave that board, this specific situation, if say he re-raises with ace-king, and that is the absolute worst you're up against, and very rarely does he do it with ace-king, and you've got queens and that board comes up, I just don't know what you can beat.
Yeah. I mean, the only thing I was going to point out, though, is when you're going to raise in first position and Barry Woods and Mike call, you just smooth call. Yeah. You don't really put either one of those players on a big hand, okay? Because they probably would have re-raised with a big hand. So you can re-raise to try to pick up the dead money out of the blind and just try to get through that one player. Basically, if you can get past Gabe, you can get through everybody.
Right. They asked a question about dead equity. It was a phone caller on the circuit for Friday night in tournaments, and I kind of was answering questions for cash games. And I was kind of talking about that play when someone who's straddled in a full ring game, Dave, who doesn't normally re-raise out of the straddle, you got limp. You can almost raise with any 2 cards because the straddle isn't going to play back to you, and people aren't limping to limp re-raise that straddle.
Right. Well, if people are thinking that far along.
Well, Allan's flop trip queens.
Yeah, now, I don't think anybody's got anything else, do they? No, nobody's got nothing. Jonas has got a pair of 4s here, but this is one of those times where if a 4 comes off, will Allan go broke?
Well, Jonas is going to bet here. I mean, he's got second pair to the board. He's going to bet 500 on the button.
And if Allan just calls you here, I got to tell you, you're taking the card and you're going to see the river for free.
Because he's probably not going to bet at 3 on the river.
No, he's got a queen. He's clearly got a queen. I think it's pretty obvious Allan's got a queen here.
Turns a 9.
And if a 4 comes off here, Allan's going to go broke.
Yep, and Jonas takes the card. Oh, and the river's a 3. Very close. And now Allan's going to come out with that.
And it's an easy laydown for 4s.
Yep.
And Jonas played it perfectly there. He bet there, and somebody was like, well, why not take the card and take the 4th card? Well, by betting your 4s, you have a chance to pick the pot up right there. You don't know if somebody has a queen. And this way you get the information. Once Allan smooth calls you, it's very obvious.
Yeah, that was these are one of those times when you're sometimes playing in a very deep game with a bunch of players that are very prone to slow play. If you're deep enough and the flop comes queen, queen, deuce, and you have pocket 6s, you might take one off, figuring in, say, the 20 or 21 to 1 chance of you hitting your set on the turn, but knowing the implied odds are huge.
Yeah. I'd be more apt to do it at the flop with, say, 4, 4, 9, and I had pocket 7s, because, and if I have a feeling these guys have 4s, because that way if I hit my 7, I know I'm good, I have a higher full house.
Right.
I don't want to hit my 6 there, and then somebody sucks out of me in the river anyway.
Right, but with a mid card, they're not in there with queen 6. Something
Probably
like
not, right. So the 6 comes, but I just don't want a 6 to come in and a jack to come in, I lose anyway.
Mike Binger raises here with 5-6 on the button. Sam calls with king jack, and Sam's got the nut flush draw here. He's got the king of clubs, ace 9-3 all clubs.
Yeah, we haven't heard from Sam all night here, and he does not bet it. Wow.
Well, wait a minute. I don't know where the action is. Yeah, he checked it.
He checked it.
And
then Mike says, okay, you check it. I'll take a shot at it. Why not? And would you check raise here, maybe? It's funny, Sam actually played a hand with Sam the other day where you were actually in the game. The flop had come out queen 3-3 with 2 clubs. And it went to me. I bet. Sam check raised me pretty big. And then I actually re-raised him. And he threw away the nut flush draw. So Sam does like the check raise on the come. Wonder if he's going to do it here.
That's funny. I hadn't been that familiar with Sam. I mean, he had been in this. Yeah, he is going to check raise here. Yeah. He's all in. He's kind of short, but Binger can't even call here with anything.
No. Yeah. He's going to show 5-6. Look.
It's funny. I'd seen Sam on the show. Then I talked with you about him afterwards. And from what I've seen tonight, he definitely looks like a very tight player. I would imagine that you made that move because you had a 3, maybe like ace 3.
Yeah, I did have a 3 there. I did have a 3, and I thought he was in the blind, so I said either A has a flush draw, which I don't want to let him get a free draw on, or B has a 3, and maybe he can't get off of it.
Did you have ace 3?
I had a 3. I had that hand, yes.
All right.
Yes. I
It's
actually
not that big of a deal.
I actually had king 3.
I was going to say, like, what other hand are you in there?
I actually had king 3, but I knew it was good. And I was hoping that maybe he was in there in the blind with jack 3 or queen 3 or 9.
Scott Hoff did an interview with you before the show.
Yes.
Talked about the strengths, who was the better player, you or I. And you said that I was much more disciplined than you in a full ring game. Definitely agree with you there. King 3.
Well, that actually wasn't a full ring game. We were playing like 6-handed. And I had king 3. I think I was on the button. Look, king 3 is pretty good.
King 3-3 here. And Mike was the pre-flop raiser. He's going to bet here. Jonas is totally whiffed here. Jonas is out of it.
See, I personally think you can play. I think when you're talking about playing in a short-handed game, I think you can play so many hands in the cutoff seat and the button if you are disciplined and a good enough player to get away from it. And you know me, obviously. I'm in there with king 3 suited. I am not looking in a 6-handed game for a king. No way, no how.
I don't know if Harrington said it when we interviewed him in here, but he was talking about accessing our archives to put on hands for his whole Harrington on Hold'em. Yeah.
He actually is going to. He's going to. I told him that he could ask you and I.
Yeah.
We could kind of put him in the right direction for the hands he might be looking for. Because we know, obviously, going through all of our archives can be a very arduous task. We must have, 1,800 hours now of content?
Jonas is going to raise it up here to 300.
Arduous. Thank you very much. Try to work on my vocabulary every once in a while.
Button moves to seat 9.
Yeah, actually, yes, Scott Huff was asking me about our strengths and weaknesses, and I think I properly said, you probably have a little more discipline than me. I'm probably a little more aggressive than you. In a full ring game or a 10-handed game, you might actually be better than me, but I think in a short-handed game, I'm probably better than you. But either way, I don't think you want to mix it up with me, and I certainly don't want to mix it up with you.
I never put up a king. He checked the foul.
I just look at it live. I got to tell you, live, I'd almost rather be the better full ring game player. You can go play on the internet at 6 max tables.
Yeah, the thing is, though, since I play late at night, I get a lot of 6-handed and 5-handed games. The games start to break.
Open raise here by Cloning out with Ace-Jack, a call by Jonas, King-Jack of clubs. Gabe is in there with pocket 9s. Barry's got Ace-Queen. So 4-way action here. About $1,000 pot.
Well, 9s are still in the lead here.
See how Gabe's is Cloning going to make this continuation bet?
And well, you know what? Why not represent? She's going to try to represent like she's got 10s, jacks, queens, or kings here.
She only bet half the pot here, and you wonder if Gabe is going to get involved.
Well, Gabe might take one off. Remember, might call this and see what Cloney does on the turn.
And he does. Remember, there's a lot of things also Gabe might represent, like a 6. Very scary, even with an overpair.
Well, yeah, there's no urgency to raise here.
Turns to 3.
And now the question is, does she have it in her to fire a second bullet? Because if she were to come out with a nice pot-sized bet here, I don't know if Gabe can continue, but she's going to check it.
Well, how about if 5-7 got there, and Gabe takes the card. He checks right behind, and now Clooney checks again.
And does Gabe bet for value now, or does he just show down the 9s?
Yeah, he's going to show it down. He did not really want to make that pot any bigger. Figured maybe he can't get called by Ace-Jack, something like that on the river.
Yeah.
Well, you always talk about, is there value to maybe not showing your hand down, right?
Possibly. It's funny, Doyle Brunson was actually talking about it, Super System, where there are times where you should actually just check it down, kind of show respect to another player. Maybe Gabe's doing that, who knows?
How much chips you have, Brian?
It's funny though, obviously you primarily play during the day. I would say I would say you probably play
except this month when I'm day and night.
I would say 70% of your play is probably between the hours of 1 o'clock and 6 o'clock, right?
Yeah.
Which is primarily full ring games. While my play, I'd say 70% of my play is primarily from 10 p.m. so probably 3 in the morning. Okay. Where I would say I'm playing probably full ring games only 50% of the time, and many times I'm playing 3-handed, 4-handed, 5-handed, or 6-handed.
And Binger limps in here in kind of mid-ish position with King 7 suited. Mike had straddled, and Mike checked his straddle. Binger's going to bet 200 here.
Binger's real good about being aggressive in position. When he is the last player to act and they check it to him, he almost always bets.
Got about an hour left in the show. Again, we are playing 50-50 no limit hold'em with a $5,000 minimum buy-in.
Button moves over to Mo in seat number 2, Cloney Gowan in the small blind, Corporation Mike in the big blind, and Jonas is under the gun.
David Kelsey is out. I guess Kelsey is out. So
Well, he actually got knocked out last night.
Well, why is he emailing this today?
I don't know.
Let's see. Flop.
He actually played the first day and got knocked out.
Four-way action here. I kind of sweated him for a hand. I kind of brought him a little bit of bad luck. 9-4-8, all diamonds, limped round. Look at this. We got pair of 8s. Looks like 8-5 is good here.
Jonas.
Now, Jonas is going to bet with pocket 7s. I don't think Cloney's going to get involved here. Mo is not in the hand. Mike's got king-jack with the jack of diamonds. Is he going to take one off? Nope.
Now, funny, I got an email here from Jason Whitmore. It says, David, can you tell us your thoughts on the hand that Mike busted you with? Now, I played a couple of nights ago, I want to say Friday night, into the wee hours of playing 2040, and Mike actually did knock me out of that game. I'm actually going to write about it in my blog, and you'll get more on that later.
Button moves over here to Cloney.
Look at the right side of the table.
I know, all walking.
All dealing, all walking.
Sam has really been gone more than he's been here.
I don't mind that. Like I said, I like short-handed play. I like watching it. I don't mind if we go four-handed, as far as I'm concerned. Gives us another perspective on how to play the game.
And now Binger's gotten up. Let's see if Gabe's going to take his big blind. You notice how Brian is dealing in everyone, even when they're away from the table, because this is a collection pot game.
They paid for their hands already. They paid for their round, and they'll continue.
Well,
to
it's
deal
also
them
a
in.
jackpot game too, so that's.
He'll continue to deal them in until they miss a blind.
I mean, to have a jackpot in this game is just absolutely ludicrous. I mean, we were talking about how the commerce people want to bring the 50-100 game over here permanently because we allow them to run the cards, but I'm sure they're not going to stand for having a jackpot.
Yeah, there's just no point.
Yeah, Queen Jack Deuce here on the flop. Gary's going to bet 100 here with top pair.
That's okay.
That's the first one that he's won all night here.
Not your fault.
No. Especially the time of sodas.
And look at this. A night like Barry. Barry can't even get his drinks right tonight. What was that? I got to tell you, if that was a Milwaukee Light Best, what is it, Milwaukee Best Light commercial? The big beer would have just fallen on his head.
Pocket kings here for Mo in scene 2.
The men should act like men thing. Clearly, that beer would have fallen on Barry's head right there.
Now, Binger's got ace king of diamonds in the small blind. Remember how aggressively he played ace king before?
Mo's got kings.
Right. Wow. Sam went to Jamba Juice across the street. No wonder why he's been gone for so long. There's a new Jamba Juice, Dave, right across the street. A Jamba Juice now in Bell Gardens. Never would have thought I'd seen the day.
Sam's actually only missed one round.
Well, Mo's got kings. Like I said, this is going to be interesting because Binger's got ace-king suited here in the small blind. Remember how aggressively he played it before?
Yeah, Mo is going to overbet this pot, I think.
400.
Well, 300, okay.
400.
400.
I gotta say, I'm making 450.
Mike calls. Now, again, here we go. We got some dead money in there. We got a razor and a caller. How is Binger going to play ace-king and diamonds?
Well, you saw him play it real aggressive before. Does he want to do it again?
Sam has folded out a turn.
Yeah. Obviously giving a lot of information to Binger there. He doesn't have to worry about the limper in first position.
Well, now Mo is deep, though. Remember, he bought for 10,000 behind. Sometimes he likes to play short, but he's deep now.
No, both players are real deep.
We can see he's almost torn here, whether to re-raise or just call.
Well, there's a lot of different ways to play it. Some people will say, maybe you should raise that 1 out of 3 times, something like that. Obviously, you got to decide on what's going on. Now, his raise, he knows when he raises out of the blind there before, he knows what kind of message that's sending to Gabe. I don't know if he's just familiar with Mo's play.
And Barry's got a pocket pair. That's going to bring Barry in as well.
All right.
And you wonder if Barry hits a set with rags, is he going to pretty much stack Mo?
Might, you never know.
Here we go. $1,600 pot. Well, Queen 7-8.
Not everybody misses.
Mike's got a gut shot.
Pot is $1,200. How's Mo going to play this?
$1,600.
16, thank you.
Yeah. You'd imagine Mo's going to bet at least 1,000 here.
$15.
He bets 1,500.
Pretty much a pot-sized bet there.
Mike has a gut shot. Remember, there's 2 hearts out there. You got 2 people that checked in front of you. You don't really know what they're going to do. It's really a tough spot. I think it's a pretty easy lay down.
If you had the gut shot with the ace of hearts or something, then maybe you can make that call. Binger shows the ace king of diamonds, throws it away. And I think Binger actually purposely showed Gabe that he does not raise out of the line with ace king there.
$50. That's your money.
Well, it's not like Gabe can't go home and watch this thing and see
Of
that
course
hand.
not, but for the rest of the night now, you know, for the next hour or so, or next 3 hours, as long as they keep playing, hey, maybe sending a message to Gabe. See, look at the monster I had that I didn't raise out of the blind with. You can only wonder what I had last time. I must have had aces or kings.
But moves over here to seat 6. I love it. Right after the show, Dave, I want to hop in some games, catch some of those tournament guys coming out and getting busted out. You know?
Yeah, you know, people that are just kind of like on tilt already because they just lost $10,000.
Plus, you know, playing 1,000 game is kind of like for some of those guys. It's not like coming out of a $300 tournament, coming out of a $10,000 tournament. Some of those guys are going to be donking it up in the 10, 20 million game.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
not even a question.
Man, wouldn't that be something if Javid pulls it off, huh?
That's the thing. It's so funny. You get a World Poker Tour final table of like Javid, Amir. You know what I mean? A bunch of players you have no idea. You never have no idea who they are.
Mike is going to raise it up here with 250 with ace 10. I like with Jonas. He's going to call with 7. Actually, he re-raises with 7 deuce of diamonds. Now, this is what I'm talking about. Sometimes the weakness with Jonas. Full ring game. And this is what Gabe brought up. Is he disciplined enough? Is there a need to do this?
Well, I mean, there might be. You never know. He's in position.
Yeah, but if you're going to re-raise with that, then you can re-raise with any 2 cards in position.
Pretty much,
But it's a cash game. There aren't antes out there. You don't need to accumulate chips.
Yeah, but that's Jonas' image, though. It's one of the reasons why he gets paid off for the kings before against Barry's queens. I mean, there's that metagame theory going on. And if Jonas were to just play it completely straight, ABC straight, you know, players would stop giving him action. I mean, I'm not saying he specifically needs to make this move.
Look at Mike. Looks like Mike's going to get rid of it.
Yeah, I mean, it's not necessarily a bad play. Now Mike goes home, he sees the 7 deuce. So next time that Jonas re-raises, he has aces or kings. Maybe he gets action.
So again, we're going to be streaming a live heads-up match between Gavin Smith and Joe Seabob versus Gabe Tuckman and myself tomorrow. And we're going to start, try to start promptly at 3 o'clock. What time are you going to be here at the casino tomorrow, Dave?
2:53.
Well, that would be nice if you're here by then.
2:53.
Hey, you were the one who always said you never show up late for work. Just other things.
Honestly, have I ever actually, there was only one day in the last, year and a half into the show that I was actually late into the webcast, and that was because I was in the bathroom. And everybody remembers that episode. On a regular basis, like today, I showed up to work at 6 o'clock for a 7 o'clock show. Plenty of time.
Barry raised it with ace king here.
I mean, there's really no point in me showing up at 4:30 if I'm not going to play before the game.
No, there isn't.
You know, so I might as well show up at 6.
Barry, you want to go? Sure, why not?
You've pretty much given up on playing before the show these days, haven't you?
You know what? Because it's just one of those issues. First of all, I think the games are better after the games are better afterwards. It's also a matter of I don't want to play like a 2-hour session, which means I really have to get here by noon or 1 o'clock and play. And then once in a while, you know, there's not a game, or I gotta wait. The game's not good. Now I'm sitting around for 5 hours and doing nothing. I don't know. I like my days too.
He wants you to pay him $1 a minute.
Go to the gym during the day, get some errands done. You know what I mean?
I got a big hand. So much for you having any power. So much for you having any power.
Although I will say, after the media event, after we got knocked out of the media event, it was kind of cool to be able to put in like a 6-hour session before our show that night.
Hey, I got a flop. Sort of free.
Barry's going to toss in his 50, $250 pot. Flop comes out ace 6-6, 2 hearts out there. Cloney's got a flush draw now with a paired board that you want to get involved. Allan's got a flush draw also, but he is in really bad shape.
And Mike is just going to bluff at it. Cloney's not in the hand.
Well, there you go.
But Allan is going to check call with the flush draw. Turns a 5. Oh, Mike's still good here with 10 high. And again, this is one of those times where do you bet because you think Allan's on a flush draw, or do you think he's slow playing a 6, or would he continue to call with ace rat the whole time?
Right. Well, you need to find out by betting. Remember, no, Allan might call you with just like a king high, taking one off. Maybe I'll just take one off, see what happens. I will say, though, Allan's game has improved tenfold over the last 6 months. It really has. Still makes a lot of mistakes. He's still good for the game, but his game has definitely improved.
Every player, there's like 2 guys in the game who I don't know.
Well, ace queen of hearts here from Sam.
I got to tell you, there are a lot of people in the world I don't mind watching eat a popsicle. Jonas is not one of them.
Well, he's got pocket 5s. She's not going to get involved heads up there, Dave.
Not going to call
And again,
out.
I don't, well, you know.
So many things have to go right for you to make money on that. You have to hit your set, and your opponent has to have something.
And you definitely have to be playing the player. I mean, once somebody else calls, then I think you can easily call. But heads up, there are definitely times that I don't call pocket pairs out of position against certain
Definitely not.
opponents.
I got to tell you, I mean, if a really good player, if you were to raise in the cutoff seat, and I have a pocket pair in the small blind, and nobody else calls, or the big blind, and nobody else calls, I probably won't call because, first of all, I know you can get away from an overpair. Second of all, there's a good chance you don't have an overpair.
Right.
So many things have to go right for me to make money on that pot. Why do I want to play against a good player out of position?
Barry's got ace king and he raises. Mo's going to call with a suited connector. Now, Glony's got 7-9. Is that going to bring her in as well?
Yeah, there's no way she's going to call this heads up. Nah, she's not even going to call 3 ways.
Well, here we go to the flop. Well, Mo's got top pair here.
And he leads right into Barry.
And Barry just takes one off. He calls. Turns 4. Mo bets 300. Barry calls again. It's like limit poker. And the river's a king. Oh, man. Mo bets 300 here on the river. And is Barry going to make a little raise here?
That's such a stop bet.
Hey, look at this. He made a min raise, and Mo called. Wow.
You actually raised it on the button? I got lucky.
Unbelievable. He made the min raise there on the river. He got the call there by Mo.
And you wonder, I mean, Mo's probably sitting there going, I think he probably a value bet on the river thinking, I might get paid off by ace queen.
But getting closer.
You know, again, talking about that thing that I talked to you about Lynette Chan and Ron Rose. I saw Ron Rose scheme off $5,000 yesterday in the 5-10 minute.
Yeah, you wonder. I mean, Ron Rose obviously has been on the show a couple times. I'm friendly with him, but at the same time, I don't think he's that good a player. I really don't. I'll put it this way: I played 3-handed with him the other night. Him and Sam actually.
Yeah.
And he was the reason I was really staying in the game. I thought he was live.
5-way action. Jack 10-8 here on the flop.
Well, not a bad flop from Mike. Mike is open-ended here.
Yeah, he bets with ace 9.
Cloney quickly throws away ace queen. Oh, I'm sorry, no, she hasn't acted yet, but now she throws it away.
Kind of turned into a tightish game here.
It was very quick. It just hadn't gotten to her yet. Yeah, it is a pretty tight game here. I mean, Jonas is up big here. Once again, I don't really need shots of him, though, while he's eating a popsicle. Please, spare us, Isaac. I'd never step on your toes, man, when you're directed. God. Oh, Jesus, come on. You know, and this is, I mean, if you're going to talk about live cash games, you know, you're not going to find 3 or 4 donkeys in every single game.
150.
And we got a $150 raise here by Barry Woods. Mike is going to call, and so is Sam.
What kind of raise is that?
4-way action here.
Pretty straight one.
And Allan is in there as well. 7-4-4. Well, see if Barry can make that continuation bet that he was often good with before. He was kind of running bad.
Oh, I didn't know Allan checked.
Looks like it's gotten checked over to Barry here. Well, he's going to bet 250. Kind of a smallish bet. 350.
I got over.
And Mike senses some weakness, and he's just going to check raise with air here.
You said you have home spares?
Yeah.
Total air.
And Sam goes, Sam actually asked him, he goes, you said you had an overpair? And Barry goes, yeah. And, you know, Sam trying to get some information out of him. And I don't think Sam thinks Barry has anything either. Problem is, though, Barry might just call with an ace jack.
Well, he called Mo with the ace king the whole time.
The funny thing is, if Mike showed him an 8, you'd probably put him at 8-7, wouldn't you?
Mike has raised it how much more?
And look at Mike. Mike says, I can't show you one. I want the action.
450 more.
Mike says, I don't have a 4.
You don't have a 4? God damn, you guys really giving each other a lot of information, man. You have a 7.
Don't really know what Barry's trying to do here.
I got 2 per.
I got 1. I'm working on my second one.
You know, everyone was kind of, scratching their head when we saw that hand that Kenneth James took so long when he called the turn against Corporation Mike with King, Queen high.
Yeah.
And it looked like he was going to call the river. I went and asked him about that hand. He said Mike told him that his hand was good. Mike actually lied to him and told him he had Jack 10 or a 4, a busted straight draw. But I told him that Mike had 3 6s.
Right.
Because he was really thinking about calling with King high.
Yeah.
I was looking at this email that the Bicycle Casino newsletter sent out. It says, it's the battle of the poker mouths. The action starts early, 3 p.m. Pacific. It's open to everyone. Tune in and watch livethebike.com. And then it goes on to say that in several round-robin matches, one Live the Bike commentator will square off with one circuit member, as the 2 remaining will commentate on the action, along with the circuit's own Scott Huff. Who invited Scott Huff in there?
I don't know. I just go where they tell me to go. I don't know.
Sam has raised here with Ace King.
I kind of figure we don't have much to lose here. I gotta figure the poker community just expects Gavin Smith and Joe Seabuck to wipe the floor with us.
Right.
I mean, after all, they're poker tournament pros, right?
Right.
They're the pros. Who the hell are we? Apparently, Ronnie is going to bet a Tootsie Roll on us now.
Ace Queen over here for Cloney Gowan in seat 3.
Ace Jack for Jonas in the small blind.
Jack 10 of clubs for Sam. Looks like he has limped in early position. Cloney's going to raise.
Mike's going to call with a 7-5 here. Cloney quickly realizing that every time she raises, Mike's going to call.
Well, Jonas has Ace Jack offsuit, and he's trying to figure out, does he want to get involved here in the small blind?
Yeah, I got to tell you, against the Cloney Gowan raise there, against the Mike raise, it might be a little bit different, but I just don't like playing that hand out of position.
Sam is going to call. And Binger calls as well. Binger's got Queen 9 of diamonds. So again, about $1,000 pot 4 ways here. 10, 6, 8. Well, Mike's open-ended. It's flopped an open-ended straight draw. Sam has top pair here with Jack 10. Mike Binger's got a gut shot. And Sam checked it over.
Actually, I want to say that Mike Binger has a double gutter here. A 7 or a Jack would give him the straight.
That's right.
Binger's hand's actually real interesting here.
And Mike bets 700 on the come. He's open-ended. And he does not share the same straight cards as Binger.
No, he does
players
not.
would not make the same straight.
They're safe. Sam with top pair, and Sam did not bet it. And now what do you do if you're Sam here? You put yourself in a tough spot.
Well, Binger has called. Now, it is a rainbow board, so that's a perfect board for a double gutter, right?
It's a great board for a double gutter. You got to wonder here, if you're Sam here, I think there's only 1 of 2 moves here. I think you're laying it down or you're moving all in.
Really, with that stack, you mean?
Yeah, he's just not that deep. He's only got about, I want to say, $2,000. At this point here, you're not going to call 700. See what happens. I think you're moving in or you're folding.
There are a lot of other 10s that beat you here, obviously.
Of course.
Yeah.
Definitely. It's just a matter of if you think your hand is good, you move in. If you don't think your hand is good, obviously it's an easy laydown.
Well, this is a great shot of him, though, dude. The more and more you look at it, the more and more he thinks. I think the more and more it's a fold, because I don't know if anyone's going to buy it if he moves in now.
It's not really a very good flop.
He's got the best hand, though.
Loney is out of there.
And Sam decided not to bet out there and got taken out by 2 draws.
Well, both of these guys are on draws, and the turn's a 9, and Mike makes it.
Yep. Mike's got the straight. Now, the only problem is you might think maybe somebody would take one off with Queen Jack, but in this case, you're in pretty good shape here. Binger checks, and Mike bets 1,000.
Obviously, catch a 7 to chop or a Jack to win. And that's really, I think that's really the super card here if you call. If a Jack comes, there's no way Mike's going anywhere, is there? Well, excuse me. Well, it is a one-liner to a Queen. I just don't know how. Maybe you think he's got Queen 10, something
Queen
like that.
10. Yeah, Mike might put him on Queen 9. Might put him on a double gutter, though. Double gutters are usually pretty well hidden.
Now, Mike has bet
1,000.
1,000?
$1,000 into how much?
So the pot is 3,400, 1,000 for Binger to call.
Okay, so he's getting a little over 3 to 1 plus implied odds, and he's going to call it.
And he calls.
7 for a chop, jack to win it.
River's a king. Well, Binger's totally whiffed here.
Yeah, and he's gonna give up.
Although, he does have a pair, and Mike is going to bet for value.
And he bets 1,500
into about, again, about
44.
a third. Yeah, $4,400 pot. Now, usually Mike likes to overbet. I was surprised he didn't bet something like $3,000.
Yeah, I'm surprised too. $5,900 pot now, $1,500 to call. You're getting about 4 to 1 on your money. Could Mike be bluffing here, say 1 out of 5 times to make it profitable for you? We know yes. The answer is yes. But in this case, what was Mike trying to represent here? I mean, would Mike bet, say, ace-8 or ace-6? Is there a draw that didn't get there, say jack-9? I mean, I'm trying to think of a hand that you can beat there, and jack-9 might be the only one where he's open-ended and he catches catches on the 9, but I don't think he bets jack-9. And Binger correctly throws away the 9.
You know who I didn't see here during Legends, and I haven't seen... I actually didn't see him at the World Series, but I assume he's played his Moneyman. What the hell happened to that guy?
He's associated with Playboy now.
Isn't he still on the PokerStars team, though? He definitely wasn't here.
No, yeah, he's definitely on PokerStars. He was doing courses for him.
You play shit and you lay down your big hands? That's the wrong philosophy.
You might want to start playing
But
these
moves
big
Jonas
hands.
here.
Your chip stack is going down, man.
It's not going down. They only lost one hand. That's it.
Limp.
What's you lay down?
Mo is just limped in with 10s here.
You got to tell me what you got.
Allan's got ace-king. He also just limped. And now Mike is going to also limp. Looked like he might raise with a little suited connector.
What about the one-liner to the straight for that hit?
Binger checks.
They still have bluff, 15 ball bluff. 2 pairs. That makes sense.
We need to see Binger's cards and Gabe Thaler's cards. And Gabe Thaler's going to raise. And Gabe Thaler has aces. He's got aces in the big blind. And Allan just calls with ace-king. And look at Mo. Mo's got 10s. Mo is going to call. Wait a minute. Who re-raised? Oh, Mo's got trapped here, Dave. Mo's pulling the limp re-raise with 10s, but Gabe Thaler has aces.
And Mo is drawing dead. Look at the 10s. Cloney's got a 10.
Is this one of these times where he's making it so much? Does Gabe Thaler need to re-raise? Mo's made it 2,500 more. Does Thaler need to re-raise here with aces?
Probably not. I got to tell you, I probably would not. Remember, Mo's got another 15,000 behind.
Yep.
Let's see what Gabe does, though. I'm really curious to see how he plays it. The 10s are dead here. Mo is pretty much drawing dead here, unless he catches 4 diamonds.
We can see 2 of the diamonds are in Barry's hand.
And 1 is in Allan's hand. I mean, Mo is in just such bad shape. It's ridiculous.
2,500 here.
And this is the question here. If you call this, are you giving away the strength of your hand just by calling?
And he is just going to call. And I think Mo knows he's in a world of hurt right now.
And Mo is deep. I mean, it's not like Mo just moved in. Like, it's one thing if you're short stacked and you go, you know what, I got 10s, I'm going to push in my last 3,000.
Well, Gabe is so savvy. He's such a professional. When he makes that call, he must know that he's sending a signal of strength out. Is he going to bet right away on the flop?
Well, we'll see. With obviously the $2,500 bet, pot is $6,000.
$6,000 pre-flop here, and Mo is virtually drawing dead here. None of the 10s are left. Oh, set of aces for Gabe. Yeah. Now maybe he checks it, though. And now he does check it. And Mo checks right behind him. Well, the turn's a deuce, and that's it for Mo. Now, we always talk about building a pot up, but and it goes check again, and the river's a queen. I think Gabe is really trying to let him catch up here, and the pot is already big anyways. Check on the flop, check on the turn. And Gabe's going to bet 4,000 on the river.
I mean, you got to know your beat here, right? I mean, this is such an easy laydown when you make this move with 10s. The only question is, what is Gabe betting here on the river? But,
He never says, he can beat this. So he's calling
it's just ones you can't beat. Hard to play for kings when
You can't beat an ace, you can't beat a set of queen.
I mean, honestly, if Mo had kings here, he might call.
Right.
Putting Gabe specifically on jacks. But in this case, it's just, I mean, what is Gabe calling? What is Gabe raising out of the blind with and then calling your $2,500 bet with? And by the way, Gabe and Mo have a little bit of history. They got into it in the Bellagio, I want to say, a couple of years ago.
Got into what?
They got into a little bit of an argument.
Did they really?
Yeah.
Yeah. Never seen anybody argue with Mo before.
That could happen. Sometimes in the heat of the battle, you know, a lot of money on the table, and Mo throws it away. And you know what? I want to hand to Mo at least. You know, at least he didn't like he did earlier. He realized he was very deep, and he goes, "You know what? I got called by a $2,500 raise here. I'm pretty sure this guy's got me beat here. Nothing I can beat." And he didn't lose any more money at least.
Small one.
Button moves over here to Michael Binger. We've got about half an hour here left in the show.
$250.
And we got a $250 raise here by Cologne. She's picked up ace-queen again.
I get a minimum.
2-player.
We are heads up. Looks like Mike Binger is called here with 7-5. Well, king, queen, 8. Cloney's got middle pair, all diamonds. Nobody has a diamond. Not a great flop for either hand. Cloney's going to make a little continuation bet. Let's see if Binger gets involved here. Is he just going to make a play at it? No, he's going to pick a better spot. Cloney's a relatively tight player. And the button moves over here to Gabe Thaler. So again, you can check out the circuit. If anyone doesn't know what we're talking about, we're going to play those guys tomorrow. And I got a really good chunk on the circuit on Friday night. Excuse me, is it Saturday night? Saturday night. I've lost track of the days here now at Legends. I've been here for... I've come here about 10 days straight now, and I'm not seeing any reprieve anytime soon. Get a... Button moves over here to seat 7. Yeah, Thursday I get a break from the show. Boston's going to be coming in here, but I'm going to be doing the floor hosting with Linda Johnson again at the ladies' event. And Linda said she'd come in here during one of the breaks, so... Mike is going to raise it up here to 250 with 4-7 of clubs. Now Gabe here, he's going to re-raise. We don't see what he has here yet. He's got ace-jack. He's going to re-raise Mike. Or, yeah, he's going to re-raise Mike after Binger came in between. He's going to make it 500-600 more, it looks like. 700 more. So a raise by corporation Mike. Binger calls in between. Mike actually has 4-7 of clubs.
Yeah, and in this play, obviously, Gabe is playing the players here. He's also playing his position. You know, he can put some heat on Mike, and if Mike calls him, he's in position the rest of the way. I have a question for you now. I'm gonna ask you both sides. First off, if the flop comes out 7 high, does Mo lose any money on that, or does he know he's beat?
Well, that's why I thought. Now, you know, people might be screaming, and maybe Barry Wood's going to give me a hard time and say, any other player, you would have said, why don't you come out and bet or check raise or build the pot up? I think Gabe specifically knew that Mo had probably something like queens or kings, and once that ace came up, he was trying to let him catch up. I think Gabe bets the flop if it comes out rags, because I think he knows that Mo knows that he has a bigger hand.
Well, that's the question too. Let me ask you this: do you think Gabe actually hated the flop? Do you think Gabe actually thought that ace killed his action? Going, you know what? I think my opponent has kings, and the ace kills your action. Although, is Gabe calling a $2,500 raise with ace king or ace queen? I don't think so. So, I mean, are you really scared of the ace unless you think he has pocket aces anyway? I got to tell you, if I have kings there, if Gabe calls me $2,500, I might specifically put Gabe on queens because it's less likely that he would have a set of aces. You know what I mean? Now the queen comes on the river. Now you really can't beat anything if you have kings. And obviously Gabe bets the river, hoping that Mo actually backed into a set of queens and was playing it really soft.
Well, I got to tell you, I mean...
Oh, man. I used to like Gabe Kaplan, too. Apparently, Gabe Kaplan has eliminated Liz Liu from the tournament.
So what happens when Gabe bets 4,000, you play pocket queens like that, and then you hit the set on the river? Then what do you do?
Man.
You call?
You know, it's funny. Barry Greenstein talks about that specifically, that almost specific hand in Ace on the River. You can check it out. Really, really great analysis where he threw away pocket queens there because he said if it had happened on the flop, maybe it would have been differently.
Right.
The flop actually came out with ace queen. But he goes, the way the guy played it, he couldn't put him on anything except pocket aces, and he threw away a set of queens. I don't know. You know, I wonder if Mo can get away from it.
Well,
a real savvy player is certainly not going to raise.
No, of course not. But like you said, Mo is not in the business of laying down big hands. He probably at least calls.
Yeah, maybe you call that. Tough spot.
Well, we got a raise here by Sam, and Mike limp called with pocket nines. Ace Jack Queen here with a couple clubs. So if Sam bets here, he's going to win it.
Well, let's see if Sam can. That's the thing. Well, Sam is not going to bet it. Sam is such a tight player. If he would put a little heat on the board, he'd probably take some of these down. You know, Sam is playing a little bit more passive than I thought. You wonder if maybe this game is a little bit higher than he normally plays.
Mike is going to come out and bet 500 here with nines. Oh, now is Sam going to make a move like, hey, I checked something big. He calls. Well, you know, you wonder if there's going to be fold equity because he's not that deep left in the river. The river's a 5.
Well, Mike, I mean, I think if Sam breathes in the pot, he's probably going to win it, although now that he might put Sam on a club draw.
And Mike checks now.
Sam's got to know.
No, and Sam just checks right behind him. And nines are good.
Yeah, and maybe Mike probably assumes that Sam must have busted clubs. Maybe a gut shot with clubs, but he shows the 4s. And you wonder, now Sam told me, obviously Sam is comfortable playing in a big, high-stake, no-limit cash game. He plays in the 20-40 game, and normally when he plays in that 20-40 game, he buys in for $20,000 or $25,000. You wonder if maybe he's a little uncomfortable in this lineup or something, you know? I'm not sure. Obviously, Mike Binger in the game and Gabe Thaler in the game, Cloney Gowan, Mo, Corporation Mike. We've got a really tough lineup.
So 130, right? 117 there. 117 there, 13 there.
Once again, we are live at The Bike. I'm David Tuckman here with Bart Hansen. You're watching No Limit Hold'em Blinds. You're 50 and 50.
Wouldn't it have been worse to lose it? Huh?
And I believe we're going to see pretty much a family pot here. We're going to see 8 ways, $400 to the board. This is going to test Ronnie. Let's see how quick he can get him out there.
8-3 deuce here, all clubs.
Yeah, and Barry's got the king of clubs. Jonas has got top pair, but no club in there.
And it gets checked around, turns to jack.
Oh, now Mike's got top pair. Jonas has got 2 pair, though, jacks and 8s. And Mike's going to at least bet here. You wonder if Jonas is going to raise and try to get out a club, a lingering club behind. Now, Mike does have the jack of clubs, though.
Well, the only problem is, do you ever get scared that somebody might have sandbagged something?
Well, he's going to raise and find out, though. He's going to put a little raise in there, kind of find out really quick if anybody's sandbagging. And that's probably the way to do it. Remember, Jonas is pretty deep there. Put a little $500 bet up there. If somebody's sandbagging it, you'll find out real quick.
Will he bet the river, though? That's the issue. If Mike calls with the jack of clubs, which he has now, will he bet the river against a very aggressive player that's capable of check raising? And look at this, the river's an ace of clubs. And Mike check blind. So it doesn't make any difference.
And notice how what kind of hand Mike is checking blind here. Mike is checking blind. He has a draw, but he's hoping that his hand is good enough to show down anyway.
Say the river was the ace of hearts. Does Jonas bet the river?
Yeah, you wonder. I don't know. Who knows? Would have been a great value bet because you wonder if Mike goes, wait a second, what are you betting here? You either have nothing or a flush draw.
Right. But then again, Mike is also capable of making a check raise bluff when he missed clubs. Thinking that, and then you're put to the test because you really want to call your whole stack off with Jack 8 there.
Yeah, once Mike checks blind, though, I got to tell you, if it comes out of blank, Mike's giving away a lot of information by checking blind.
Right.
I think.
Well, Sam's got ace-king suited here in seat 8. He raises. Makes it 300 to go.
Well, Barry's going to call this, and I got to tell you, against Sam is just not very deep, and Sam doesn't play that many pots, especially raising. I'm not going to call this.
After you saw your hand?
Mike is called with 2-4 spades. So three-way action here. 7-6 deuce.
And Mike's outflopped them both.
Getting word that Sam actually has brought more chips off the table. It gets checked around here. Turns a 9, and now Barry turns top pair. And now Sam bets the turn.
You don't buy it, though. You just don't buy it, though, do you?
Barry calls.
If he had pocket 10s or jacks or queens, wouldn't he bet the flop? Tough for me to buy an overpair here.
River's a queen.
Barry's good here, and if Sam puts heat on him, now you might be worried about ace queen.
And he bets 1,000. He bets 1,000 into about maybe an $1,800 pot here.
You wonder, now let me ask you this, if a king or an ace fall down, do you think Sam checks it?
1,000, yeah, 1,000 into a $2,000 pot, $3,000 pot, 1,000 for Barry to call.
I mean, if you think a king or an ace fall in the river, do you think he checks it?
I think he does check it. Yeah.
But he has to bet here because he missed. So pretty much you probably look at it and go, you dismiss ace queen here, right? And you probably look at it more like this guy either flopped a monster like a set of 7s or a set of 6s, or he's got nothing at all, right? Or maybe he turned a set of 9s, but I probably bets the flop with the pocket 9s. I can tell you, it just doesn't add up to me, does it?
No, this thing didn't make any sense. The other thing, too, is I was just thinking the same thing before you said that, is that, say the river comes a king and he checks, you know that you're beat if you have jack 9.
And Barry lays down the winner there.
So he checks, right? He checks to you when a king comes.
Right.
What can you do with jack 9? You just give up? Because how could that king have helped you? Would you be able to get him off?
Well, that's the problem. I mean, the way the hand played out, you just don't buy an overpair. Barry probably missed the spot there to raise on the turn, take the pot away from him, and then he let himself get bluffed out. Obviously the queen is somewhat of a scary card if you think your opponent would bet ace queen there.
No, kind of ace king. I didn't like the crack.
Well, Barry's got pocket 10s now in seat 1.
That's a raising hand for him. You know Mike's going to call with deuces. Cloney's not buying much there. She's not getting many in the hands.
Better than deuce.
And I think Jonas is going to call this with jack 8.
Get your mama not here.
And he does.
Talking about getting implied odds from two guys that are in that hand, Mike and Barry.
Jack 8, though, that's really stretching it, though, isn't it?
Wow, set of deuces for Mike. Now, obviously, there's a queen out on board here, and Jonas is going to bet.
Yeah, you know what?
Now, this might actually win Mike more money because Barry might not go anywhere here. Jonas is making a bluff at it.
Well,
and Barry's going to raise.
Wow.
Yep.
And Mike's got to be dancing in his pants right now. Yep. I swear to God.
He's going to make it 1,200, is it?
He's doing the old I'm dancing in my pants dance.
And is Mike just going to slow play it?
No, he's going to raise it up right away. Well, he's hoping that Barry's got a big hand here, and he knows Barry can't get away from it. That's what he's hoping for. But in this case, Barry's got 10s, and it should be a pretty easy laydown for Barry.
How much more is it here? It was a $600 buy by Jonas. Barry made it 12, and Mike made it 2,000. So kind of raise, mini raise,
yeah,
and Barry's out of there.
Good laydown by Barry there. Really nice laydown. I mean, I think it was pretty obvious. You got it going. Okay, what did Jonas bet? I raised, and now he's re-raising. Is Mike really making a move on two guys?
I still don't understand, though, why Mike likes to use that check raise in his arsenal when, if he bets out, Barry raises him just like he raised Jonas.
Well,
you know what I mean?
No, I see what you're saying, but you got to realize Mike plays it so different, though. He might bet out next time, and he might check raise next time. And he likes to put that heat on it. You know, it's the same thing as, obviously, Kenny Wynn is going to play it differently than you are, and Mike's going to play it differently than we are because of the style that he plays. And he likes to keep that check raise in his arsenal, and he has to. Mike's pretty good about betting his hands, though. Cloney's going to limp in with 4s. Gabe's got 3s he lived in. And we're going to see a pot, 1, 2, 3, 6 ways. $300.
King 6-5 here.
And Jonas has outflopped everybody with 6-4. I don't know if anybody's going to bet this. Maybe Mike will bet the flop, bet it, just take it away.
Turns a 10.
Well, Mike's open-ended now. You can see the percentages there.
And Binger's going to bet 3. And Binger's going to bet here.
I don't know what Binger has.
He's got King Deuce. We don't have it up there.
Oh, there you go. Okay.
He's got top pair. And Mike has now picked up the open and the straight draw.
I think Mike's going to at least call this. Do you raise it up, though? Try to take it away right now.
7.
Yeah, he's going to raise on the come here.
No. Now, normally you wouldn't believe Mike, because what would he not bet on the flop? But could he
and Binger calls. So this spot's quickly over $2,000. Here we go to the river. And the river's a king. Well, You know,
I think if you're Binger, I think you check it, let your opponent bluff at it.
Well, it's a check call here.
Oh, and you love it.
$800 bet here by Mike, and I think, Binger's going to call.
It's just a tough spot. What is Mike going to check that flop with? And what is Mike going to check there? I mean, some people can argue, well, he could have had pocket 10s and limp in on the button with pocket 10s.
One of the both,
Button moves here to seat 5.
You're all over this John Benet Ramsey case, aren't you?
I actually clicked on a link here that guy got let out. I was interested in that.
Yeah, no DNA.
Did you know that?
I did. I saw it on the internet as well.
Yeah. And the saga continues there in that weird case, right? From
Very
10
strange.
years ago. $250 raise here by Jonas.
Yeah, he's using his button here. He's got Jack 10. He's actually in bad shape because Barry's got Queen Jack, but the odds of a Jack falling are pretty slim.
Well, there's the Queen, and Barry's outflopped everybody here.
Yeah.
And Barry checked it. Jonas makes a continuation bet. He bet 700.
Now, this might be a spot where you might check, call, and then lead out on the turn.
Barry calls. Pot is $2,000. Turns to 6. Barry picks up a flush draw now.
Why not lead out here? You don't want to give your opponent a free draw in case he's got an ace or something garbagey like that. Or if he's got a diamond draw. You probably have the best hand right now.
He bets 1,200, but oftentimes for some reason we see Jonas just get involved in a pot like this and just raise it for no reason here on the turn.
Yeah, although Jonas is, over the last couple of weeks, Jonas has really kind of cleaned up his game. We saw him win $25,000 last Wednesday. Yeah. Playing pretty solid, not making too many moves, not trying to win every single pot. And sure enough, he just throws it away. Nice play. Well played hand by both players. And look at that, the river was the ace of diamonds, and that's really the card that scares you. Because now the diamond draw comes, and on top of that, it's the ace, and you have no idea where you're at. You know, and if you check the Jonas, and Jonas bets 2,000, you might get bluffed out of the pot. You never know.
Button moves over here to seat 6 to Binger.
So you're going to play a little poker tonight?
Yeah, probably.
What'd you put in the last, I'd say the last, 7 days you put in like 150 hours of poker?
No, nothing like that.
Averaging like 10 a day, though, at least, right?
No, not playing. No, I just have been around here for a long time. When we're talking about actually playing a session, you know, the problem with us sometimes, too, is, and I remember what Barry Greenside said last year, is that we're involved with so many other things. It's almost kind of like Mo, that it's almost difficult for us just to play poker and concentrate sometimes.
Right. It's one of the reasons why I like playing after the show is I don't have anything else to worry about.
Yeah.
Sometimes during the day I'm still worried about getting a game down at night. At night, obviously, it's just easy for me to do it. Binger's going to bet when it checks to him.
Yeah, he's got a weak ace. No, I probably have played, say, 60, 65 hours in the last 2 weeks, which is a lot for me.
Right.
Especially if I'm here another 25 hours a week doing this.
Right. I've actually played a lot in the last week and a half or so. I've had 2 sessions that last until 6 in the morning.
I played a little bit online with Steph.
Because the game was so good.
Small games, side by side, whatever.
One session went very well. One session did not go so well. But August for cash game players here at the bike, I tell you, you can almost make about 3 months' salary in 1 month.
Well, Cloney's got ladies. The ladies got ladies for the second time tonight.
And you got to hand it to Cloney. Cloney is real patient, real disciplined. She waits for the cards.
She makes it 300 to go.
Now, solid player.
Jonas has got King Jack suited in seat 5. He's in position. He calls.
It's funny. I remember watching Cloney play last year, and I wasn't impressed with her play at all. Now I watch her playing this bigger game, and I really am impressed.
Well, and Allan, boy, we haven't heard from him in a while. He calls with the ace-3 of diamonds.
Wow, diamonds are really represented here.
Yeah, 4-way action, $1,200 pot.
How about trip aces?
Ace, ace-7. Well, Allan's in there. Remember, how much heat can you take, though?
Well, Allan's going nowhere, and you know that.
Well, Cloney's going to bet.
Well, I mean, it's not a terrible flop for queens, is it? She's got the queen of spades as well. I mean, the likelihood of somebody having an ace is that much less with 2 of them on there.
Now, again, you know, if Allan just calls here, do you think he's got a 7, spades, or an ace? And that's always the key.
Well, I got to tell you, I probably play this hand a little bit cautiously. I got to realize that if I raise Cloney and she plays back at me, my ace-3 is no good.
Turns spade.
Now, I think if I'm Allan, I probably lead out. I want to see where I'm at.
Yeah, but look at this. Cloney's got the queen of spades, and she takes the card. The turn was the 8 of spades, and the river's the queen. The river fills Cloney up.
No,
she
Cloney
took
played
the
this
card
hand.
on the turn.
I tell you, Cloney played this hand to perfection.
And Allan's going to come out and bet. He bets 1,200. Now, does Cloney know Allan? Because maybe against some other one, she doesn't raise this here.
Why wouldn't you raise this? What do you put your opponent on?
Well, I guess... I mean, would you ever be scared of aces full? Obviously, ace-queen is not a good... There isn't a good
Ace queen. There's only
combination.
one case. There's only one queen left in the deck. I got to tell you, I'm raising this up. I'm hoping my opponent has spades, or I'm hoping my opponent has ace-king or ace-jack and can't get away from it. I'm definitely raising this up.
I'm definitely raising too as well, but I'm just saying how sometimes it's player-dependent, though, Dave.
I understand what you're saying, but there's only 3 hands she loses to, and that's ace-7, ace-8, ace-queen,
And she is going to raise.
Yeah.
And can Allan get away from this? He can't beat the flush.
You can't beat a flush. You can't beat a full house. You can't even beat a big ace.
She's going to make it 2,000 more. And this pot now is about, what is it, about 6,500, 2,000 for Allan to call. Kind of the biggest pot we've had tonight.
Now, we talk about when to take a card on the turn.
Yeah.
This is a perfect opportunity to do it. Cloney played this hand to perfection. She played this hand great. Raised pre-flop, bet on the flop to see where she was at. And then on the turn, when she picks up the spade draw, she knows she's got 11 outs there. She got spade or a queen. And Allan obviously gave her the card there by not betting the turn. Now, obviously, she might still have called with the queen of spades in her hand, but at least you charge her for it.
And I don't know, Allan isn't, he doesn't make big laydowns. I don't know if he's going to get away from this one, Dave. Even though he can't beat a real ace, he can't beat a flush, and he can't beat pocket queens. There's 3 things he can't beat.
I tell you, if Allan lays this down, it will be a huge development in his game.
Yeah.
And this is really a tell for him. I mean, this is really a telling point in his career as a poker player. I mean, it's a really easy laydown, actually, isn't it?
It is.
I was actually playing on Bodog, and I had a similar hand like this where I had ace-3 and a guy raised me all in. I threw away trip aces heads up. I mean, this is just really, really easy. Cloney's only played like 3 hands all night. I just don't see how ace-3 can be good here. And Ronnie apparently thinks she's going to call. I wouldn't be surprised if he did call. I just like to see him, being a friend of Allan and seeing his game kind of develop. You'd like to see him lay this down.
Yeah, it's about a $6,500 pot, about $2,000 for Allan to call here.
He's getting 3-1, but I mean, is this a spot where Cloney would make a move? Really? Think about all the hands your opponent could have that you think he'd probably call with.
I can tell you, I'm rooting for Allan to lay it down. He lays it down.
Wow, that is a great lay down by Allan. And I tell you, you know what? There's not a chance in hell Allan lays that down 6 months ago.
Yeah.
And you see how far his game has come. And I tell you, that's one of those you buyer beware. When you're playing in a game and you think you're playing with somebody who's a donkey because you played with them 6 months ago.
Yeah.
Make sure you know, because their game could have easily improved.
Well, it'd be fun if we got everybody to do it.
Everybody puts 1,000. Everybody puts 1,000. No bet, nothing. Flop.
We did the other night. I won. I made top set.
We did the other night.
Oh, they're talking about putting 1,000 blind.
Yeah, they're talking about blind there. We'll gamble.
Email here from Bernie Mackinson. Yeah, he says, Bart, will you keep your nickname of the douche?
I love it.
I love the circuit show.
I mean, is it going to be Bart the douche Hansen?
Man, that Gavin Smith. Jesus.
Exactly. You don't have a middle name. You need a middle name. Now, Sam raises it up here with King Jack of clubs. Barry's going to call him.
Barry re-raises here with ace queen.
Not a bad play at all. I like that. I really like the aggressive play. One of the reasons I like it is why not re-raise the tight player Sam, especially when he's raising from the button. Doesn't necessarily mean he has a big hand, and he might lay down King Jack here. Sam very proud. Allan very proud of himself laying down the ace there. Great laydown.
You do what I mean.
You're in? All right.
I'll take 150 back for a call. Whatever one you want. I'll take 150 back for a call. Either way.
I can. You want to take 150?
And Sam is trying to figure out what to do here.
I'll let you take 100 back.
We only have 10 minutes left in the show.
And look at that, Barry lets Sam take 100 back, and Sam throws it away.
Email here from William Frick saying, is the match on the archives for those of you who missed it? We haven't done it yet, Bill Frick. Tomorrow at 3 p.m. Pacific time, Joe Seabaugh, Gavin Smith against Dave Tuckman and Bart the Douche Hansen.
Friar Tuck and Bart the Douche.
need to know which hand it is.
Are you guys in? Are you in?
Where's Joe Seabach and Gavin? Gavin, I'm always drinking Smith.
Yeah, right. I called him. I walked in there. I said, "Gavin, fat ass." And then turned around.
No. Oh, hey. All right. That's it.
And Joe, I just want to be on camera, Seabach.
You have a chance. One guy.
You better not look at him.
It's up to his hand, right?
Do you guys mind if we do it?
Three-way action here. King, queen, queen on the flop.
I don't want to do it 2-3 pairs. It's not worth it.
It'll be 6.
I think Cloney's gonna not do the $1,000 blind.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't either. I got to tell you, I'm here to make money. I'm not here to give away $1,000. Some players will do it though. You'll see Gabe. Gabe might do it
To induce the action of the game.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly. He doesn't want to make it look like he's in nit. Okay?
Right, exactly.
He doesn't want to make it look like he's not there to gamble.
Right,
Okay.
right.
He wants to be like, hey, I'm here to have fun. I'm here to gamble.
Right.
I'll gamble with you guys.
No, it's definitely a metagame thing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's one of the reasons why I've
Look at
actually.
this. Gabe is the one that's putting it in first.
It's one of the reasons why I've actually played. I actually played the pair game with Mike and his mom just to show that I'm a gambler. I'm willing to gamble up those guys.
All right. Now here's the thing. Here's the thing, Donna. Before they do this, if you can hear me, Donna, have everybody put the cards in the window and wait 20 seconds before we do the flop. That's the question.
Favor, though. Put your cards in the window. Give us about 20 seconds before you do the flop.
So there we go.
There's no betting.
This is $1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, $7,000.
$7,000 luck fest. Let's see what happens. Mo said no to it. So wow.
Put them in the window. Go, Ronnie. Tell me, Ronnie, when you're ready.
Everybody's got crap here. The leader pre-flop, by the way, is Ace-10 for Allan.
This is gambling. This is a real gamble.
So a couple more seconds here.
Time in my life.
5, 4, 3,
Got one more card to input.
2,
And we got them all.
1, and we're good.
All right.
Okay, we're good, dealer.
I'm going to slow roll.
Turn them over, guys, if you want to.
$7,000. Here we go. Mike's got pocket sevens.
Oh, I'm
Dave.
sorry. There you go.
King 5-5, and look at this.
Binger.
Binger's in the lead here. No, Gabe's got trip fives.
Oh, wait, Barry's got a bigger kicker, though.
Oh, Gabe, and Barry fills up. Barry Woods has got a full house now with 5-8. Mike could hit a 7, and Mike hit a 7 on the river.
Oh, my God.
That's so sick.
That's
Mike's
unbelievable.
got 7-4 on the river.
Oh, that's sick. And I tell you.
Wait, I got the 8.
No, it's no good, Barry. It's no good. Oh, Michael.
I got to tell you, the way Barry has been running, I really thought, wow, I'm really glad Barry's going to win 7K here. But what a bad beat. Oh, my God. Unbelievable.
Gabe Thaler had 3 5s, too. He flopped 3 5s as well.
I wonder what would happen if the hand actually played out. Although I don't think Mike gets into the river.
I'm done. I'm over it.
He turns a full house, man.
Unbelievable. And Barry,
I would have never got to the river, too.
what could have been? Mike wins
Let's do the
$6,000.
final chip count that did not include that last thing. That didn't do anything.
There you go.
Let's take a look at the chip count.
Gabe with 22K. Wow, 116,000 on the table still. Remember, Johnny took 30,000 off.
I knew he was telling the truth.
Let's see how they're doing. Well, Mike's up 9,000. Does that include the 6,000 he just won?
No, I don't know. It doesn't.
So he's actually up 15 now.
Jonas is up 9. Gabe's up 7.
Sam up 2,500.
Mo's the big loser with 10. Mike Binger down $3,000.
And remember, Barry's only down 1,700. Oh, this is the second session.
Yeah.
Remember, he lost 8 in his first session. So he's actually down about 10,000.
Jack 8-6 here on the flop. There's only pocket 10s here for Binger.
Ace queen there for Thaler.
Wow.
Mike Binger's going to bet 500 here.
A nice aggressive play here. He's going to find out where he's at. Only one off the button. Only one player left act, and Gabe is going to throw it away. And that'll be enough. Binger's going to take it down, I think.
So good.
Oh, that's sick.
Good. Your idea, Gabe. What? It was your idea.
What a hand there. Trip 5s, full house, another full house. Oh, man.
Wait, now the station on 2+2 said if Mo doesn't raise that pocket 10 so big, Allan goes broke with Ace King on that flop. I don't know if I agree with you now, because we saw Allan, I don't know if you were in the booth, but I saw Allan muck Ace King on an Ace high board at the river when Trish kept betting at it. Trish missed her draw. And then we just saw Allan muck Ace 3 there.
Yeah, Allan's going to lose a lot of money there, though, with Ace King. Ace high board with 2 diamonds out there. I think Allan's going to lose a lot of money.
I thought you would have won. There's no way.
Oh, wait, that hand was void. That's right.
Station's got a good point. I don't know if he goes broke or not, but he certainly loses a lot of money.
cautious when I get a hand.
Pocket aces here for Mo, Dave. It just really hasn't been his mind at all.
No, hopefully he'll double through here. We'll see what happens.
Sam's going to raise it up here to 300 with 6-7 offsuit, and Mo is going to re-raise.
13.
Makes it 13, and I don't think anyone's wow. 13.
Big raise there. 300 to 1,300. You know, and Sam here, obviously, Sam was just trying to mess around here with 6-7 offsuit.
I know, you're mucking a big hand, Sam.
So wait, what we got, about 5 minutes left of the show?
Yeah, 5 minutes left.
Oh, apparently this is the last hand. Sorry.
Oh, this is going to be the last hand of the night.
So make sure you catch us tomorrow, 3 p.m. We're going to have like crazy action on Live at the Bike tomorrow. We've got a heads-up match, the Circuit versus Live at the Bike tomorrow at 3 p.m.
Doing another cash game at 7.
And then we have the final table of the Paul Hannum charity event.
And everything's going to be free tomorrow. Everything's going to be free.
So Live, like, we're probably going to be on the air for like 6-7 hours tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Applebee's.
Isaac's going to sugar up a little. And yeah, you can tell your friends that it is free tomorrow night. Check it out. See if they like it. You can watch it obviously on liveatthebike.com. You can also watch it on cardplayer.com.
Yeah. Mike's going to raise it up here to 250 with Queen Jack of clubs.
Jonas calls, Binger calls, Sam calls, Allan calls. Wow. $1,250 pot. And nobody's got really anything special. Cloney's not in there with 8-3.
I did okay, but I went with blind.
And she would have flopped top 2.
Yeah, 8-3 deuce here, a couple diamonds.
Yeah, I wouldn't imagine Cloney would be in there with that. But Jonas, nice flop for Jonas here. He's open-ended.
Now, there are 2 diamonds out there.
Yeah, you got to be aware of that.
It gets checked around. In the turns of 4, the third diamond.
Ooh, third diamond there. Allan's got the highest diamond left. And it checks around again.
And the river's a king.
And Allan backs into the best hand here with King 10.
Yep.
And do you bet it if you're King 10, or you just check it down and let somebody bluff at it if they want to?
Check around. I got the king.
Maybe we can do... Wasn't a very exciting hand.
Nice check, man.
One more hand.
No?
I just love the way Allan... I got the king.
I got the king. I got it.
The funny thing is that there was no betting. But it wouldn't surprise me, you look at the flop, and he makes a call on the flop, and then at the end the river comes king. I got the king.
Right,
on
exactly.
the flop. 8-3-4, and you're scratching
Although,
your
hey,
head.
you got to wonder, though. I mean, Allan is... it's funny. I used to always kind of label people like, okay, he's a +2 for a game.
Right.
Allan used to be a +3 for the game. He might only be like +1 now.
One more hand, what? On the air. Oh, that's
We should have done the last hand. Last hand of the night.
Is this the
If
last
you guys
hand?
want to do it again, I'm free rolling.
Yeah, you're free rolling like 8 times.
I can't read it.
No kidding, we should have done the last hand of the night. That would have been fun.
I'll give it back and we'll do it the last hand.
Okay. You can do the extra 5 on that.
5-way action here, lift around.
Come on.
King 10-3, all diamonds. Look at this, Allan's got bottom 2.
Yeah. Only Allan would be in there with 10-3 in early position, but hey.
Yeah, why is he in there with 10-3?
That's suited.
And he checks it, the turns a jack.
Oh, how can he check that?
Well,
Jeez.
now Gabe's got a pair and a straight draw.
Yeah. And he checks it, too. He's keeping the pot small. Allan's obviously going to bet this here.
250. About Allan.
Now, if you're Gabe, do you even bother chasing?
Allan definitely got hit the head of the deck as well.
Funny to the exact same thing we were playing that.
And is Gabe? Let's see how Gabe plays this year. He's got a pair and an open-ended straight draw. He doesn't have a diamond in his hand. And he's not even going to get involved. Just throws it away.
And that's going to do it for us tonight.
Wow.
So,
We're going to keep this live on. We're going to keep this streaming all night long so you can check it out.
yeah, we will keep the overhead shot on it, plus ambient mic, and maybe Dave and I will pop back in here periodically.
Put our 2 cents in.
Put a little 2 cents in. So, check us out tomorrow, 3 p.m. Pacific time, free for everybody. Joe Seafoam, Gavin Smith, it's Dave and I. So we'll see you next time. See everybody tomorrow. Good night, everybody, from Live at the Mic.